Jason Ellis is joining us on the podcast.
Need an elevator. They're doing it for the love, you know what I mean? That's what I could feel, that this was like, this is a core thing.
When you go there early and you watch the build and you're on the hill when they're all together.
That's the bit
that's the real shit.
That landing pad I was like, you're gonna what? Can't break me. I got a lot of drive. If I point myself at something, I'm gonna get it done. And I have all that childhood drama to thank, because that's the engine. When you get older and you skate vert when you're in your 50s, what is it, another decade? Like who is 60 that can do head-high airs on a 13-foot high vert ramp? Tony and Cab and all those dudes, we're the first of its kind. If skateboarding had paid me $20,000 a month, I would have died. I didn't make a lot of money from skateboarding, but at the time, if you had given me Danny Way money, I would have OD'd.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. You know, it's easy to forget to show a little gratitude, not just to others, but to ourselves as well. Life gets busy, and in the chaos, we rarely stop to acknowledge the effort that we're putting in. Whether it's setting boundaries, taking care of loved ones, or just getting through the day, that is all worth celebrating. Therapy can be a great tool to support you in that journey. With BetterHelp, you don't have to wait or travel to find that support. It's entirely online, making it flexible, and it's designed to fit your schedule. Just take a quick questionnaire to get matched up with a licensed therapist, and if things don't click, you can switch to another therapist at no extra cost. I've been in therapy for a while. My wife and I, we do couples therapy. We have ever since we got married, and it's something that I really, really value. I don't feel any stigma around it. I don't feel weird about it. A lot of people wait as well to get into therapy until they have a major problem in their life. I've always believed that getting ahead of these things is better than, I guess prevention's better than cure, you could say. So if you've been thinking about trying therapy, then why not give it a go and let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/gypsy today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/gypsy.
I met a gypsy.
That's what, we good? Everything's on. Jason Ellis is joining us on the podcast. We just did Rampages last week together.
Man.
But that was a bit of physical work, you know. I was like, I'm like, yeah, we're out here grafting. Like, I left that week feeling great. Like, we're out, we're in the outdoors. A lot of work was going down. We had to watch most of it.
Yeah, I'm kind of happy about that. Like, as much as I would like to help dig a hole with those guys, I also, I'm older, man. My knee is jacked as well. My ankles got super puffy.
Yeah.
Took like a couple of days for them to go down from walking up and down that hill.
Yeah.
It's just a different kind of movement.
Yes.
You know, like I can go to the gym, no problem, but I think slipping and sliding down that thing, I kind of like tweaked my already tweaked knee. Yeah. And it just made my whole shit, kind of my back, my hips. I was like, man, I'm like trashed from
just walking.
Yeah.
It was fucking
man,
gnarly.
that changed my whole, I had no idea, dude.
About that
I had no
event?
idea. Seen it on TikTok.
Yeah.
I told fucking Brandon, I was like, yeah, man, I was like, you guys, I was like pretty cocky for a guy to do a 360 in the middle of a race. Because I didn't know. I had no idea. And I get there and I'm like, wait, so two guys help you build? You got
for 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I'm like, and you work on, like, you pick a line and then you do a trick on it if you want. And I'm like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
No idea. And then watching the whole community all like back each other up, you know? Like that was, to me, it was like 80s pool skating.
Yeah.
You know, like it was this thing where I always love the core of things, you know what I mean? Like pay your dues.
Yeah.
Like it's like it's a different kind of cool.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm sure even in fashion, you've been in the game a long time and you know what's cool and you know what's not instantaneously. But in skateboarding, you paid your dues, you know what I mean? You're 10, 20 years deep and you're like, that shit sucks. Yeah. And you knew it, you know what I mean? Because you'd paid your dues. And those guys, they know, and it was like an appreciation for everybody doing their stuff.
That bit, yeah.
Yeah, and like and when it becomes dangerous,
yes,
there's less shit talking.
Yeah.
because nobody is like, oh, I don't like that guy's style or choice of tricks. It's like, that guy's risking it. We're risking it.
We're all in this together.
Yeah. It's a camaraderie where it's like, you can't deny everybody that's on that fucking mountain or hill or whatever you want to call it deserves respect.
Yeah.
Because it's so gangster, dude. Some of those tracks, I was like, yeah, right.
Bro,
You going off that?
How's when the first day that we were watching the drops and the guys are just like kind of standing and visual, like Reed Boggs, like he was eyeing up that the first time he did that big drop for a minute, you know, and a lot of the guys, you know, Brandon's giving him, hey, no, you've got it, like just trust the speed, like I think you're sweet, you know, like to see that energy. And that's what that event is to me, is the switch. Yeah. That mental switch of you're doing the run and hitting the brakes, you're doing the run and hitting the brakes, and then you're doing the run and you're not hitting the brakes, and you are flying off the side of that
It's
cliff.
like Mega Ramp.
Yeah.
Mega Ramp has the same thing where anybody that's there knows, because you don't go there unless there's been a couple people that have been there and have gone, maybe not, and they're just not built for that. But usually if you're there, you're built for that. You're looking for it.
Yes.
So the advice you get, it's from a trained professional.
Yeah.
And if he's like, you got that. You know what I mean? I've had like Danny Way be like, you got that. It goes a long way, because I'm like, I've seen you do it, dude. So yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But those guys, what was the last big gap that anybody jumped before the contest, because I was there for it.
Yeah.
Jumping over this gap.
That big canyon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tyler McCall.
Yeah, but like when he made it, the whole mountain is like cheering for him from everywhere, which means everybody knew from all different, they're all working on their own thing, but they're like, wait, he's going to do it. And they're all watching it. I'm like, man, this is like, I wish I could have stayed for the contest, but that was, to me, I was like, okay, I really like this. Yeah. Like these guys, they get it, you know? Because to me, I like all sports, man. Don't get me wrong, but if you're not putting it on the line, it's missing something.
Yeah.
Like to me, the jitters, the like to be skilled and to work on something and make it work, it's awesome. But when you add like severe injury, potentially death, and you can still stay sharp,
yeah,
I just respect that so much more, because that's all I ever lived for, man. I love that whole, if you don't make it, man, you're gonna wake up in hospital. And it's like a war, you know, because I don't want to go to war. I don't want to die, you know what I mean? But I respect the troops.
But you want that feeling.
Yeah, like I respect facing it, you know, like we could get wrecked right now. And I'm like, so?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't have that gear. I fully don't have that gear.
You ride moto.
Yeah, but not for that reason, you know.
Yeah, but it's still a part of it.
Yeah, I mean,
you could get bit.
Oh, I do get bit.
Right.
Bro, the last time I rode Glen Helen, I was wide open down a hill and just fucking cut. I fully was like, bro, too much. Like,
I'm just saying,
okay.
but that's a part of it.
But I'm not like looking for that. Like, I'm trying to avoid that feeling.
All right.
Like, I'm trying to ride in such a smooth zone.
You just said you got destroyed.
Yeah, I fucked up.
Maybe you haven't realized that you're kind of psycho, you know? Because that's a part of it right there. I don't ask. I don't go.
I know you're saying you don't.
Where else can I potentially die? Like, it's just sometimes when it gets to that, and I make the choice. Like, I've always been proud of myself because I know it. It's a switch.
Yeah.
And it still comes for me every now and then, even in fighting. Like, if I fight somebody where I'm like, ooh, you know, like big guy, he's like 28 or something, and he's like, you know, 6'5", and I'm like, okay, this sparring session. It's time to make a switch, because if you flinch and hesitate, you're going to get hurt more. So I'm like, step into the fire, you know, like, let's go.
I can relate to it a bit more with the jiu-jitsu stuff. Like, even though that's maybe not fighting, but it's like...
It's fighting.
Yeah, when you do competition or like even just gym rounds, you know what I mean? Like, especially in the comp's different because you're fighting people that are your level. Like, technically, you're on the same belt. Whereas in the gym... there's no weight classes and there's no belts. Like, you're going against a big fucking black belt. Right. And you know what I mean? So it's like I feel like there is a switch there that seems but I don't feel like I'm going to die in that situation. You know what I mean? It feels way more controlled to me. But like, I definitely feel like I can flick that switch more in that scenario.
But it is the same
moto,
switch.
It is for sure. But I'll see a 120-foot jump and I'm like, I'm just not doing it. Like, it's just not worth like that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I just have a line, and then I know guys like you, every Rampage
As soon
guy.
as you said 120-foot jump, I'm like, I've done that, and I'm nowhere near good enough to do it.
Yeah.
I've had people call me that are the best in the world, and they're like, I heard you're going to jump this jump today. And I go, yeah, I'm at the track right now. Villapoto called me because he was
like,
on
right.
Kawasaki at the time. And he's like, the guys at Kawasaki are telling me you're trying to jump this triple at Elsinore. And I was like, I'm here right now with the bike all set up. Like, the guys set it up for me. I'm ready to go. And he was like, hey, man, you got kids. Don't do it. I'm like, dude, I'm
Don't say that.
I'm putting my knee braces on in the back of the truck. Like, there's no way out, dude. I'm going over it. Like, I don't need to hear this from somebody who's far better and experienced than I. Just lie. Tell me I got it.
Tell me I'm good.
Yeah. He was right, too. I came up short, but I got away with it.
Yeah, that's me. Like, there's just, I feel like I got a level, and I stay in my bubble because I'm just not like skydiving. Nah, don't need it.
Yeah, I did it once. I didn't really, because I didn't have a say. That's what I didn't like in that.
How?
I don't have the experience to save
Yeah, it
myself.
wasn't your like control.
Yeah, I was like, if it doesn't open, I don't have I can't suck it up and tuck and roll. Like, you're just done.
Yeah, it's splat.
So that was, like, I didn't really enjoy that feeling. But I'm sure if I did it a lot, like, I think the squirrel suits, that seems cool.
Yeah.
But also, I'm old. I mean, like, things now are not worth it.
Yeah.
You know, like, sometimes, I'm not going to lie, I hope my kids don't see this, but sometimes it is worth it, you know? But most of the time now I go, dude, just go home.
Yeah.
You know, like, you don't need to make that.
Yeah.
But every now and then, you know, and it's not to death. It's like, you know, break your arm or something, break your leg. Yeah, all right. Like, I'll do it. Because I want it still. I don't know how many, when you get older and you skate vert when you're in your 50s, what is it, another decade? Like, who is 60 that can do head-high airs on a 13-foot high vert ramp?
Yeah.
There's not many left. I don't think there is one. So,
Well, you guys are right you're the ones that are right there for that too. Like, there hasn't been many 50 plus
we're the
year olds.
first.
Yeah, exactly. You're right there. You guys are kind of setting the gauge.
Tony and Cab and all those dudes, we're the first of its kind.
Yeah.
Where our kids have facial hair and we can do head-high aerials on a vert ramp.
Yeah, dude, Riley.
Yeah.
Riley is a pro skater.
I know.
And Tony is still a pro skater.
Yeah.
That's
He's
fucking cool.
amazing, and he's still got balls of steel.
Really?
Still, like, the broken leg thing, I've said it a couple times now. I'm not exaggerating. I know the toughest people in the world, you know? I know the UFC champions of the world. They're the toughest dudes in the world. They're not as tough as Tony Hawk. Like, they don't know pain and commitment like he does.
Yeah.
To me, it's like Laird Hamilton or something, like big wave surfers that are just like, you know, I've heard the story of a 100-foot wave and I took my wetsuit off to cut tourniquet or some shit and then naked on a jet ski and then he's back in the 100-foot surf. You're a fucking madman. Like, you're a proper madman. Like, if we go to battle, I want you on my team. Yeah. You're a warlord. Yeah. Tony Hawk doesn't really talk like that. You know, like I've never heard a story about where he's like, yeah, my leg it broke, but then when I tried to skate again, it separated again. So my bone was floating off the side of my leg, and I was still skateboarding. Like, he didn't know that it was off, but I knew something was wrong because we would skate, and it was super obvious that he was standing on one leg when he was skating.
Yeah.
But he's that good that he can use half a leg. And I'm like, it's just healing. You know, he's doing it too soon because it was way too soon. Dude, he had a compound fracture.
So when was this?
This is probably, I mean, I'm bad with time. 2 years ago?
Yeah, okay. So
Maybe.
the recent one that he had.
Yeah, he broke. It was the worst thing. It was like skateboarding died to me because it was like Bucky, myself, few of the older guys were skating. You know, and Tony's still a man. You know, like, he can crack fives whenever you want. He's always been a guy that can do 540s easier than anybody that's ever done a 540. He just has them.
Yeah.
And him and Bucky were dropping into him. And instead of setting up, they would drop it in. And You just
so like drop in.
no
540.
backs are there before it. Just drop in, and because you can't get the speed, but those two are so good that they'll get the spin anyway and make it.
Yeah.
And I'm standing there, and he he lands sideways, low, trying to squat it in. And then when he landed sideways, he went to his knees to the flat really hard, and he hit his knees so hard that his femur snapped and came out the side of his leg.
Fuck.
And his leg bent in a way where
That's just not
real
supposed to.
bad. You know what I mean? Like at first I go, oh, he broke his knee in half. And then I see the bone slid back into his side of his leg. And I was like, oh, compound. Tony Hawk's
He's
got
human.
a compound.
He's human.
And we're
He
50.
bleeds.
You know, like compound fractures when you're 50 is different.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like that's a wrap. You know, like you're not coming back. And the shock, I'm in shock. He's in shock. I feel like the rest of us are in shock because it's like, it's not us, it's Tony.
It's skateboarding.
Tony doesn't have compound fractures. We do.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, it's broke. And I'm like, dude, it's real broke. You know, like, wow. And then we did a podcast. He calls me and goes, hey, can you come down? I'm like, yeah, man, like whatever you need. He's like, I want to do a show, like keep people up to speed with what's going on so they know I'm okay. And I'm like, okay, dude, like so you're coming out of hospital and you want me to meet you at your house. So as soon as you're out of hospital, the first thing you do is a podcast with me. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. You're crazy. You know, I knew he's a crazy guy, but not, I just always, because I'm like, I think I'm tough. You know what I mean? Because I fight and shit. And Tony's like, I'm not tough. I don't fight.
Yeah.
But he's tougher than I am because I'm like, that's a madman's decision. And then when we start doing the podcast, his wife comes in and she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I didn't orchestrate this. He called me. I came because he called me. So but she was mad at both of us. And that was another thing where I was like, he's a madman. You know what I mean? Like his wife is like, slow down. You know?
Yeah,
And he's
just
like,
chill.
no, I got to talk about it. People need to know. And he's talking about how Vert Alert's coming and he's going to be in Vert Alert. And I'm like, wait, is that 2 months? I'm like, dude, you had a compound fracture in your leg. I know, dude. I remember when I was 28, a guy had a compound fracture. He was out for a year, and he was 28. What are you talking about? But he started skating. He would fall and barely be able to get back up from falling, and I'd be like, that's it. And then he's up the stairs on top of the ramp, and I'm like, what?
Just
What's
built
going on,
different, eh?
dude? Yeah. And then it got to the point where this is when it detached and he didn't know. Something was up and it was hurting him more and you could tell. And I guess he knew he was on the quarter pipe in the street course and he went to get out and he put the broken leg down and something slipped. He didn't know at the time, but that's the bit that made it separate. He did a backside boneless on a leg the leg that he stood on was a leg where the bone is over here, not on. And he did a backside bone. So he stood on a leg that's broken and made it. That's this guy. Then when he fell on something, he could barely get up. I hope he doesn't mind me telling this story. But he goes around the back to the street course, right? Because he's mangled. He could barely walk. And we're all silent, you know, because it's like when Tony's, not everybody, but to me, when Tony's really hurt, I feel it because he is skateboarding to me. Like I look up to the guy and he's down, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I hate seeing you down, you know? And he goes over the street course and I'm skating and I'm up on the deck and I look over and I see him on the street course. He's sitting on the box with a skateboard next to him and he's just looking at it. And I'm like, he's contemplating it being over right now. Like I'm watching the great Tony Hawk think about the end. And I'm like, this is so sad. Like, I don't even really want to skate anymore. And then like 5 minutes later, he comes walking up the stairs. And I'm like, are you gonna skate? I didn't say it. I just was like, is he gonna? And then he dropped in, skated. Fuck. And I'm like, and then he goes and gets it checked out. And they go, yeah, man, your leg's separated. They put another rod in it. They put it back in.
Wow.
It took his
That's a
time.
bad injury too. Like to have to put a rod in. Like
Another
just
rod.
to-
Another one.
Ka-doo.
Another already had one.
Ugh.
So then there's that. And then he did pace himself a little bit that time. He did the rehab. He was by the book this time. He didn't try to like be in the demo because he realized he jumped the gun. And then
Yeah, your body's just different at that age.
slowly but surely, he just started skating. He looked better straight away. So it was like, okay, because we're a little bit doctors ourselves because of how many injuries we've all had. And I'm like, you look like your bone is attached to your leg now. I'm not a doctor, but it does look good. And he's like, I feel like it's on there. And I'm like, I think we're good. And then the only thing he had was he can't tuck his knee like he used to. So he couldn't, when he does hand plants, he does tuck knee ones. And I was like, do it between the leg. And he's like, oh, yeah. And then he started doing hand plants between the leg just so that he could still do hand plants. And then he still finds it difficult to get that knee to come in.
Yeah.
But he's learned, I don't know, like 5 or 6 tricks that he's never done before in the last year. After all that, at 55. Like the other day I skated with him. He did what is it? Some fakey shove it feeble, some shit that no one's ever.
Some
I'm like,
PlayStation,
dude.
Yeah,
Doesn't end, doesn't stop. There's nowhere near ending.
that's probably about as good an advertisement of why you should find a passion in life and do it for the right reasons.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
was inspirational to me. Like I always look for
Oh, I bet.
inspiration, but to get it from him with that, where it was just like, I'm older, I'm hurt, I got a lot of injuries, and it's like, call it a day. Because normal people, sorry, no offense, that's just what I call them. Normal people tell you to stop, like how much longer are you going to continue to do this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, until I die, dude, because this is what I am.
Yeah.
Like I'm a comedian, I'm a skateboarder.
Yeah.
Like that's what I am. I ride moto, I fight. I'm a skateboarder. That's what I really am. That's what I'll die as. And every now and then I go to the ramp and I do stupid shit. Sometimes it's like, you probably don't need to do that. I'm like, yeah, but it feels good right now.
Yeah.
And I love it. And it's this feeling I get
Yeah,
when
it's
I
like
get
a
in my
soul
car.
thing.
Yeah, I drive home from the ramp and I've got this thing that nobody can give me. You know what I mean? Like, and, and also you can't take it.
Yeah.
And if it's a warm blanket.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Dude, Tyler Barrowman, he's had like, have you met Tyler before? Okay, Red Bull dude, just like he's pull up like just pull up an imagination type video just to give you some context of like, so Moto had this event called.
I know who that is.
Yeah. So they did Red Bull Imagination.
Yeah.
And it's basically like Tyler was inspired by Rampage, just that whole like big send, like the groups together trying to like figure it out. But anyway, so he's like, look at that fucking dude. Like he's so insanely gnarly. And like just blind hitting that shit. And anyway, so he's had a real rough run with injuries. He broke his wrist on the quarter at X Games in practice this year.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's got like a
that
bunch
big
of,
air thing.
Yeah. So anyway, he breaks his wrist real bad. Then he's had like, he got married, so he didn't want to come back and get hurt before the wedding and all that sort of stuff, right?
There he goes. He's grown up.
He rides Monday, and for the first time, and I just texted him. I was like, "How good's that?" And he just wrote back, "Bro, my soul is full."
Yeah,
that's it. That's what it is. There's just a thing, and everyone that listens to this podcast knows that thing. It's like that feeling. I chased it for so long as a kid, and as an older person, I'm like, oh, you were just like running away from the issues.
Yeah.
And it was an escape from
I get that.
reality.
Yeah.
And I think that's how it kind of starts for a lot of people. And I think the guys that really go deep and like throw themselves off the edge, like they're really, they're running from something.
Yeah.
And it's like the voices are loud and you need to do the thing that quiets the voices.
It's the gift and the curse.
Yeah. But I feel like all of us on any level, like whatever scale that is, some people it's extreme, but it's like, you start your life as it's this escape. Skateboarding's an escape, motocross is escape.
Yeah.
And then as you go on, you know, now I feel like I can ride for. It's like a more pure thing.
Yeah.
You know, like you get older, you learn to deal with your life and your problems better.
Yeah.
And then it like right now in my age, it's like just very pure.
Yeah.
I just want to go ride with my mates.
Yeah.
I turn the phone off. I kind of know the feeling I'm chasing. It's like there's a voice in my head that's yapping away all day. It's like, no, I'm riding. Let it go.
Yeah.
And then you do your 20 minutes and you get into that
It
zone.
soothes the soul.
Yeah.
You
It
know,
just fills you up.
That's I love that because there is you know, when it comes to those kind of sports where there's a lot of danger, you know, on my way up in skateboarding, I had a friend that broke his ankle twice in a row, and he's like, "That's it, I'm done." And I was like, "Why?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "I just told you I broke my ankle twice." And I was like, "So?" Because I came from something that pain was not enough to stop me. Like it wasn't that big of a deal because I've had other stuff happen in my life that is worse than 2 broken ankles.
Yeah.
And that's like having a hard upbringing and so it does emotional, physical, it doesn't matter what it is. But if you grew up a little tough, those things don't flinch you as much. And you are running because I'm an addict. Like drugs and alcohol were a huge thing in my life. I've only just really conquered it. And because of my work in sobriety, I've realized that everything I've ever done in my life is a part of running. My fighting, you know what I mean? Like I had my first pro fight when I was 38. People were like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Hey man, like I got into the gym. You guys seem like you're having a good time. I want to taste, you know, like it looks intense.
Yeah.
I want to get in there because when you get in there,
Everything
nothing
else
else
is gone.
exists.
Yeah.
When you're fighting one guy, and that's the ultimate of running.
Yeah.
Because you're like, in 3 months, this guy is going to try to kill you in a cage.
Bro, how's the intensity?
You don't see nothing.
How is the intensity when you like know you've got to fight? You're like, on this day at this time, I have to do this thing, bro. It ruins my fucking life. Like the first 3 years,
It ruins it.
dude. The first 3 years of me doing jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
I just was competing the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was just a fucking nightmare of a human because of like the anxiety I had around going and doing that.
Yeah.
Just drove me. I was in the gym every single day. Every meal I ate, I was watching.
But it changes you.
It does, man.
To good. It gives you this confidence for the rest of your life you can carry. My first pro fight, I remember like running at 5 a.m. and seeing people in restaurants like smoking cigarettes. And I was like, you have no idea what it takes to be a real man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to fight a guy in 2 months in a cage. And I don't want to be up at 5 a.m. I was running 5 a.m, run to the beach and get in the ocean.
Oh.
Like at 5 a.m, like it was dark. And I'm sitting in the ocean by myself going, I'm going to fucking kill somebody. I'm not going to lose. Like, I don't care if he breaks my arm. I'm going to pull my wobbly arm out and beat him with it. Like, I'm never going to quit. Like, I'm losing it. And then cutting weight. I'm like, I've never dieted. I've never been a nutritional guy whatsoever. And I was just like, no water, no food, starving, just being ready for battle. Like I'm a killer. I'm ready to kill.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not me. But then when it's over, said and done, we don't lose, man. If you go through it, you make the weight, you face him with your eyes open, no flinching. So I don't care. It's not about the win.
Yeah.
It's about facing it.
Yeah.
And I've always been a terrified person. I'm terrified of everything. But the more
In what way?
I'm scared of losing. I'm scared of failure.
Yeah.
I'm scared of pain.
Yeah.
I'm scared of death. Petrified. I don't like being picked on. I don't like being not popular. I like everyone to like me. I don't want everyone to be like, "Oh, I hate you," or it took me a long time. My radio show, opinionated. Man, I got so many stupid ass opinions. People, "Oh, you suck, you suck." They talk about being bi when I was in that for a little bit.
Yeah.
People hated me for that. And I was like, I didn't know why I was doing it. Like I was running. Like
Yeah.
I was doing all kinds of sex stuff where I was like, I'm not interested in any of this now. When I look back, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
What the hell was wrong with you? But I back me. If I die tomorrow, because I've been in hospitals where it's like, it's over, dude. And I was like, who are my friends with that I need to apologize to?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
that
yeah.
is not worth it. Whatever that little bullshit was
Yeah.
about. I love that guy. Or I love that girl. I need to tell them that before I leave, because whatever argument we had is bullshit. It's meaningless. So it really made me learn also, like, what I've done in my life that isn't cool or popular, fuck you.
Yeah,
like, if that's who I am and those are the things that I've gone through and you don't like me for it, I don't give a shit, dude.
Yeah.
Because I'm gone. And now it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
So, like, whatever I want to do, whatever I feel, I'm going to say it. If you don't like it, I got to take it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So those things really helped me with, but then I had to, because I did a lot of stuff that it's not me. I'm not really that guy. So then I had to, like, realize the things that I run from.
Yeah, you got to ask the question, like, so what am I doing that for?
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like self-awareness is like the thing. You just have
That's
to.
scary.
Yeah, but you have to face that shit, right? Because at least from what I personally feel like, I had a lot of I wanted to be cool. Like, everyone has that.
Yeah,
everyone goes through it. I mean, I guess some people don't. But some people, everyone goes through a process, or I feel like your life gets better when you really look at your insecurities.
Yeah.
What am I insecure about?
Yeah.
And all the things that you said, it's just an insecurities.
Yeah.
And if you can, like, really, really fucking drill into those things, you kind of can get to a place where that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense to be insecure about this or that or whatever. And then you can start, exactly, you can just start to live. Things are still hard to deal with. Like, you want people to comment kindly on you stand up, and you want people to, but if you're ultimately, like, okay with yourself, all of that is way easier to deal with when you're not even prepared to face the fact that you're doing this because you want this, you want this attention, you want validation, you want.
And you catch the habit. Because to me, it's like, if I do something that I think I'm into and then I realize that I'm not into it, and I go, oh, man, you said, like the gay stuff, I'm not gay. I'm no disrespect to anybody that is, but I'm not at all. I just was like an addict. I slept with anybody, anything.
Yeah.
And I talked about it because I was on the radio. I felt like I owed my listener the ultimate truth, even when it was not going to help me in any way. If anything, it was actually going to hurt me. And I was like, don't duck it. Yeah. Tell everybody whatever you've ever done. And it was like, I'm the only one. That's how I felt. I was like, I'm on the radio. This guy on the air right now is telling you everything. Like, and I know people that have done all kinds of things that I've done, but they ain't going to talk about it. And I'm like, I am. And I'm living in a community where I love fighting, moto, and people are like, you did what? Like, dude, we're done. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, but I did do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie. And now that I'm not in that, and I realize, like, I'm not any of that. Like, I was just an addict. And I cringe at it. I'm like, oh my God, you told people that you did that.
Yeah.
But then I know this vicious cycle of, I'm going to drill that I'm an idiot and a loser and a bunch of bad stuff that's going to make me want to run again.
Yeah.
Like, to me, I'm like, okay, you did it. You're not in it anymore. You made some mistakes. You told everybody about stuff, and they're never going to let it go. But you're you. You fucked up.
I thought it was awesome when that was like a thing, and it was like kind of circular.
You're one of the.
No, I mean,
not everybody did.
Dude, a
lot of people did not appreciate that.
Right.
But also, man, like, that's like, if you are gay, I don't care. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
What did that have to do with you? I'm not doing it to you. Like, I only did it with people that wanted to do it. Like, but, like, to me, the way more important thing is I did all this stuff. I talked about all this stuff. I got kids, man. They know. And that's a way bigger mistake. Those are the people I really care about. Like, I love my fans, but, like, I've had to apologize to my kids. I've had to explain my addictions and what I've gone through.
But that's not a bad thing.
No, but I'm saying there is a guilt. Like, I'll feel it because of my addictive personality that I made a mistake as a father. And that's far more important than any other mistake.
But you don't think that showing them, like, the value of the truth,
yes,
and then showing
I'm just telling you that my inner dialogue is like, you are a bad father. And I'm like, no, don't go. You've apologized. You've explained how this can happen to somebody, and you're a better man for it today. And you
For sure, dude.
Right, but a part of me is like, but you did it. You made your kid's life difficult at one point. They didn't deserve that, and that's my addiction. Going, yeah, that's real bad. You're a real bad dad. You know what you should do? Drink.
Yeah, you should.
Don't face
you
it
should
anymore.
Get fucked up,
but instead, like this for the sobriety, dude. God has saved me. Like, I sit with it. If I make a mistake, I sit with it. I don't care how bad it is, how dark, or it's like I can't even think of it. I think of it. And then I go, well, how can we fix this? Do you need to make an apology to somebody?
Yeah.
Do you need to make an apology to yourself?
Yeah.
And then I do. And every time I do it, I move on. Everybody's better for it. And I'm happier about my life. Like, I've never been better in my whole life. And I'm constantly apologizing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in the middle of like making amends to people.
Yeah. So are you doing a 12-step
Oh, yeah.
program?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm up to 11.
Oh.
I just did my baby mama's one 2 days ago.
So you had to apologize to her?
Yeah. For like the past, you know, because my addiction, I'm a cheater.
Yeah.
I cheated on everybody because I can't, it's like, you know, if you smoking weed at one point and I'm like, I'm not smoking weed anymore. I'm like, man, how's that joint? Is that good? You know what I mean? Or if you're having a beer, I'm like, how's that beer? Or I go, do you want one, Jason? I'm like, nah, I'm alcoholic. I can't have one. And then I go home and I go, man, this sucks. Like, I can't, I want one, you know? But now from the work, I don't, that's not me.
Yeah.
Like that, having a drink is me running.
Yeah.
Running from what? Running from this life? This is an awesome life. Like,
Yeah.
I'm alive. I got a girlfriend. My kids love me. I'm a good dude. You can count on me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a caring person. So there's no need anymore. So the biggest one was women. I quit weed. I quit drinking. I quit taking any drugs. I'm single. I can sleep with anybody I want.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me try to not do that to see if that's a part of it as well. And as soon as I stopped doing it,
it's the
within
biggest part.
3 days, I was like,
Yeah.
that is so one of your fucking things. Like, you use that to run. And then it opened this whole thing where I was like, wait, did I do stuff with guys? Oh my God. And then, like, cause like, I don't want to sound disrespectful to the gay community because I still get messages.
None of them listen to this, so it's fine.
I'm in the clear today.
Yeah, you're in the clear on this particular
but
show.
I can't stand it. And that's that one of those things again where I go, dude, you did stuff when I'm like, oh, and I'm like, run. I'm like, don't run. Face it. You did it. You realize what you are now. Like, even my political opinions have changed because I used to get tweaked out about people saying certain things about trans people and all that stuff. And now I'm like, you know, maybe
it is a mental health thing.
Yeah. And then like the what was I gonna say with
the political,
just like my opinions on who's running and what they stand for. You know, like I just feel like the porn thing. You know, I'm like, what's so wrong about sex? Like, you know, if you want to have sex, you want to have sex on camera, big deal. But everybody I know in that's the difference. That's why I think this is a good thing for me. Is I didn't read it. I am it. I've been all of these things, and I'm on the other side to tell you, don't get into that.
Yeah,
it is not healthy. None of those people.
Did you ever do porn shit?
Yeah, I was on I had an OnlyFans account, dude. I did everything.
I didn't know that bit.
Yeah. Do you want me to leave now?
No.
But it was that really, like, I did it because my ex was doing it, and she was like, let me use you in the videos. And then her friends were like, we want you to film with us. And I was like, yeah, hell yeah, because
this is easy.
I'm getting more sex. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
And then my kids found out. I fucked my kids over, dude.
Yeah.
And all I was thinking about, because of my addictions, is just getting more. They won't find out. If you really thought about it, there was a chance they could have, and you did it anyway because you're just thinking about yourself. That's the thing I had to face too.
There's a
all
weird,
I do is think about me.
Yeah, and when you don't, like, I can definitely relate to the sex thing. Like, I for sure have had issues with
I think
that.
a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Just my stuff. As you can see, I got into everything I get into. It goes too far.
Yeah.
You know, that was one where I'm looking back and I'm like, whew. And you talked about it constantly.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm kind of on this new thing where I'm like, I'm not trying to like talk about me about it too much, but I think like when it comes to what we do as Americans, all that stuff and how we deserve to do this, and I'm like, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think kids should get into it or look up to it. And if you're in porn, I feel sorry for you. I really do, because I think there's other things you could do out there to make you feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of them. I lived with them. The polyamorous thing, I did that too. My opinion, just my opinion, I don't know for sure. Bullshit. Bad. Bullshit. I did it. Everybody that I was dating that was doing it, I don't think it works out.
Yeah.
I think having a family, even if you just want to be, if you don't have a kid, one person, you know what I mean? You work hard together. You have disagreements. You talk it out.
Yeah.
You don't like hide it and build resentments. That's the best thing about the 12-step thing is I don't even care if you're an addict. Do the 12 steps.
Yeah.
Understand who you are as a person and the things you can do to help yourself and others.
So how does the 12 steps, like, how does it work then? Like, and let's say you're not a fucking alcoholic or you don't have a problem with drugs.
Well, there's a book. And
It's
there's
a book?
12 steps. It's a big book written by more than one person, but I forgot who invented it. Bill or well, it doesn't. I'm not a big reader. I do audio book, but I have a sponsor and I go through it with him.
Yeah.
And then I go through each step. Like, you know,
And he was an alcoholic or he had an addiction before.
But as I said, I don't like it's for my addictions. Yes. But I think if everybody did the 12 steps, this country would be night and day better because nobody really wants to face who they are. You're caught up in the hustle. You're working, or you're fired, or you're not making enough money, or this person on Instagram looks like they got a lot and you don't have it. It's this constant rat race of bullshit, and you never stop and sit there and like, what am I? What am I into?
Yeah.
What have I done that's good and bad, and how can I change that to make it better?
Yeah.
Nobody's got time for it. But when your life's on the line, because that's sort of an addict, when you hit rock bottom,
get it to like the very
I was going to die, dude. I was going to give up. And I was like, I may as well try this with everything I've got because I'm done. I am disgusted at existing. I want out. So what have you got? What does it say? What do you want me to try? I'll try it.
Yeah.
And I tried it all. And it was little bit by little bit. I was like, oh, that's actually true. Like, wow, that's an eye-opening thing. And I'm like, higher power. And I'm like, dude, I was raised evil.
Yeah.
I like evil. If anyone's going to do anything for me, it's going to be Satan. I'm like, dude, that's a ridiculous thing to do. I was like, well, I lived by it. Like, I swore. I was like, take my soul. Let me be a pro skateboarder. Like, if the devil showed up in my bedroom and said it, I'd be like, where do I sign? I was that dark in my life, in my head, because I didn't think, I thought I was trash.
Yeah.
That's how if you raised a certain way where you think they didn't mean it. My parents didn't mean it.
And bro, Aussie's pretty rough. Like I grew up in Cairns.
Right.
Outskirts.
Real Australia.
Outskirts of town. Like right now it's like the meth capital of Queensland. Like it's fucking gnarly. Like we were at housing commission, but we were on the back of all these cane farms, and then they we had the house 2 years, and parents were like, cool, we're just going to buy out farmland kind of thing. They fucking cleaned out all those, full housing commission.
Yeah.
So we just grew up in a gnarly kind of area, you
right.
know? And it wasn't until, you're a bit more of I basically moved in when I was 21 or whatever. I moved to America and moved in with a family where they were quite wealthy, really smart business, very wealthy Australian business family. Went to a private school. I was fucking mind blown, bro.
Yeah.
Legitimately mind blown by just the way that they operated and how different
So
their
you've seen
life
both
was.
sides.
Yeah. And it was shocking in a way. And I think it was even shocking for them to see me at times.
I'm the same. I saw the same thing.
But it was I can imagine where you grew up. The thing that we didn't have was the big city things different. When you're when you're in a city, one thing we had that really kept me out of trouble was a lot of sport and a lot of camping and a lot of fishing. We had a little boat. Me and my brother would go out on the boat.
Yep.
We did that, and that was kept us out of a lot of the trouble. But friends, a lot of suicide.
Yep.
a lot of drugs,
Yeah.
a lot of prison, a lot of fucking.
So many of my friends OD'd.
It's crazy, dude.
The skateboard scene was, you were a broken.
It funneled you there.
Yeah, we all found each other. We all had something in common.
Yeah.
We hated each other.
Yeah.
We used to have a party called the Losers Party.
You hated yourselves and you hated each other.
And it made sense.
Yeah.
And then, you have kids. And you go, I don't want you to do what I did.
Yeah.
I don't want you to think what I think about myself.
Yeah.
And then you learn more and go, hey, man, the way you live is, you don't have to, you can tell them all the things you want, but if you live this way, they're going to copy it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I got to change my life. I got to turn it around. I got to try and be better. Some people have gone too far where they're like, I don't give a fuck. I'm dark and I'm staying dark. I'm backing it.
Yeah.
But to me, I've always had this, I want to be a good person.
Yeah, you're a good dude. Like, I could tell from, like, I've watched your stuff forever. But, like, we met at Rampage and I was like, fuck, what a good dude. Like, you could just kind of.
I thought that about you too. I thought that about everybody on that hill, man.
Oh, I appreciate
Those
it.
guys everyone's a good guy. And girls, everybody was.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I love this community.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
I think Moto's a lot like that too.
Yeah.
We talk about it a lot, I guess on here. Like, I've just met so many great people through that. But I think there's like I didn't realize until I was a little bit older that everyone around growing up just didn't care if they lived.
Yeah. I looked up to that.
Yeah, I didn't even know that that's what was going on, bro.
I'm not here for
a good time. I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time.
Yeah, that was like a famous
motto.
quote in my world.
Yeah.
You lived up to that. If you could live up to that, you were a legend. And if you're a legend, you win. And when you win, you get wasted.
Yeah.
And when you get wasted, you get all the chicks.
Yeah.
I didn't know any other thing.
Repeat.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I was like, well, if I win and I don't get all the tricks and all the chicks and all the drugs, why would I bother winning? Like, that was, I didn't know there was another way.
Yeah.
I didn't believe that it would be possible to do something great for the sake of yourself and for others, and then be cool after it, not trash yourself, trash a hotel room, just wreck, party. I was like, well, why be here?
Yeah.
Like, I really didn't, no one had ever shown me another way. People like Tony Hawk, where I was like,
yeah, you come here and you realize, like, oh, there's like a whole different side of life.
Yeah. And I'm like, he looks pretty happy. And he didn't, like, I have jokes about him. Like,
and he's the best.
He didn't do any cocaine after the contest. He seems pretty happy about it. What's up with that? I remember not believing it. I thought it was a pose.
Yeah.
I thought a lot of people.
What's he hiding?
I'm just happy on life, man. I'm like, fucking liar. You are not.
Yeah.
And then, like, hanging out with him for long periods of time. And I'm like, he hasn't cracked once. This is a real thing. He really believes it. I want a piece. Yeah. And then I've tried for a long time, man. Like, and it failed and then wrecked myself for failing. Because I take losses hard. I'm a competitor.
Yeah.
And if I can't win, I take it, I carry it. And now from this program, man, and having a sponsor and praying, and my girlfriend's in the program too, so we work together on it, which is also a thing where I'm like, I couldn't have done it. Well, like, I can't do it with no disrespect to anybody that is still using. I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
But I can't be around it. I work all the time, but I love my work and I love helping people. And there was a time there it was just like, what am I getting out of it? Me. How do I get cool? How do I win? How do I get money, fame, and the shit that is evil? Like, I mean, I still like if someone's like, hey, man, you're a ripper. I'm like, cool. But when it's all said and done, because that's it. Skateboarding's done, dude. I'm not Jason Ellis, the pro skateboarder anymore. What do I have from skateboarding? That I used to skate and I could make my skateboard do anything I wanted it, and with my friends.
Yeah.
That's easy, not even close. Money, like, hey, man, remember when you did the loop? Give a fuck about the loop, dude. I care about, I have it right now. I go skate with Tony, and we're in our 50s, and we skate together. And it's like, woo!
Yeah.
And that's it. And then I get in the car, and I'm like, dude, 53. And I'm doing, like, body jars and shit. I'm still alive, still moving. I go to the gym, punch somebody in the face. It's like 28. I'm like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
How much excitement? And then I help people in the gym. Like, most of the time now, I spar every Tuesday. I let people beat me up because I'm helping them.
Yeah, giving
I'm
them
like,
work.
come on,
Yeah.
man. Like, I say, consider me a human heavy bag.
Yeah.
Let her go. You know what I mean? I'll roll with it. I'll slip with it. Like, you land a little bit, but it ain't hurting me. I've been working on this for a long time. So people that punch, unless you're like a really good guy, you don't hurt me.
Yeah.
And I let you go. So I'm like, hey, but your hands down. I'll slap you for that one. And then I teach them, I help each other. And every now and then, if you're good, we'll have a little bit of a fight. And then I get into that zone you were talking about where nothing else exists, man. And I get in my car and I'm like, still, dude, still got it.
Yeah. That's fucking cool, man. Like, I'm 36.
Yeah.
So
okay. It's
I'm
coming.
like, I'm entering that phase.
Yeah, I was going to say, you ain't there yet.
I'm
but
mentally.
That's when it starts.
Yeah, I'm mentally getting into that phase of just like trying to do things for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Trying to leave the ego at the door. Trying to,
because it does no good. I mean, okay.
It does.
You're right.
To a point.
Yeah. Yeah, but you got to have control of it.
Yeah, but when it's like I always say, like, your ego is like a hammer. You can build a house with a hammer, or you can hit some cunt in the head with it.
Yeah, you can also wreck your house with a hammer.
Yeah. So it's just a tool.
It's a monster to me, so I've always got to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's a tool. Have it in the toolbox.
Yeah.
Use it for the right application.
Yeah.
And then put it back in the toolbox.
Yeah. Well said.
Because I just think that you can just live through your ego.
Yeah.
Constantly. And some people never question it. Some people never check it.
Because they don't sit down and understand who they are as a person.
Yeah. And
they're too busy doing shit.
Society isn't exactly like promoting it either.
We're teaching the opposite.
Yes.
I'm no offense to influencers and YouTubers and stuff, but it's like, I don't need a job. I'm just going to be a YouTuber. And I'm like, and then what? I'm just going to get an OnlyFans. And then what?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know until I had to have it to know. I had to I had to have
everything.
Yeah, like I made Ellis. I sold out the Hard Rock. People got tattoos on my face. There's babies named Ellis. I'm a millionaire. I'm not happy. I went back to my room with an elevator in it in a bowling alley. I'm not happy. And I was like, okay. I figured by now I have everything. So I didn't have a Lamborghini yet. And I was like, that's interesting. Like that. So you want more is what your problem is. You need more shit. And then I realized that I wasn't happy. And now like things are not financially that great for me, but I've never been happier because like I love what I do. I love the people around me. I know I'm a good person. I know you can count on me. I don't cheat. I've always been a cheater my whole life. I have no interest. It's just like the weed and it's not it's like some chicks like, hey, and I'm like, oh man, no, I'm seeing somebody. It's, aw, that's really nice of you. You got to be fucking joking me. Like, no way. I don't even know who you are. That's inappropriate. That's a word that I've never said. And I've been saying it for like the last year where I go, that would be inappropriate. Like even when I made my amends to my ex the other day, she said, who are you? And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I don't know this person. And I was like, yeah, because
he didn't exist when I was hanging around you.
Like when people, some girls asked me to take a photo with them after a show. And they were like, can we take my boobs out? And now, because usually they'd be like, well, yeah, cool. I'm not going to hook up with you.
Yeah.
It's just a titty, big deal.
Yeah.
Now, that would be inappropriate. And I would say that's inappropriate. No harm. I don't mean to offend, but that's inappropriate for me. I'm seeing somebody, and I don't think that would be right. And I also know, because this is the other thing that I would have thought, if I tell you that, you're not going to like me anymore. And I don't want you to not like me. So I'll say yes anyway.
Yeah.
Now I know that if I say, hey, that's inappropriate, I don't want you to do that, I know they're not going to be like, oh, Ellis sucks. Like, they'll be like, yeah, okay, my bad. I didn't mean to ask you for that.
Yeah.
No harm, no foul. And even if they do, like, oh, what kind of a prude are you? I'm like, okay, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I can take that too. But these things have never existed in my brain, dude. They've always just been like, hell yeah, pull them out. Like,
show me
let me grab them,
The one word that you do therapy, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. So me and my wife, we got married. We're doing couples therapy just from fucking day one, right? Let's just keep it on the fucking tracks, And it's honest.
That's a good idea.
It's the best. Yeah. We call her our fairy godmother. She's
She's
fucking awesome. And sometimes like this week, we hadn't spoke to her in like a few weeks of like travel and all that sort of shit. So it was just like literally a catch up. We're like, no, we don't really have anything for you.
Yeah.
You know, like it's funny. She's like, she carried on like properly a couple of weeks ago. And I just basically was like, hey, this is the deal. You do your thing. I'm going to work. Like I'm actually just not doing this. And then she fully just brings it up in our little therapy. She's like, well, there was this thing, but I was basically just being an idiot. And then it's like, cool, done. Like we can do our own, you know, like you kind of can get to a level where it's like, you just do your own thing. But one of the things that came out of it that was like never come out of my mouth, never knew it existed, thought it was the lamest shit ever, boundaries.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's my biggest one.
Oh, boundary. I thought that was the most ridiculous word of all time. Yeah. Thought you're a fucking muppet.
I'm so glad you said that because that is for sure my biggest one. I grew up, thanks to therapy, with zero boundaries.
Yeah, same.
My father slept with the same people I slept with.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't go that far.
Yeah, no, everything you've ever, I don't know anybody that has a worse story about stuff where they go, this happened to me, and I go, yeah, me too. And except it happened 4 times with 4 different people. And they're like, dude, that's really bad. I'm like, yeah, I know, it seems like that. Whenever I compare these stories, it's unfortunate, but it does. And the ego competitor in me is like, I'm for sure worse than you. I've got the most damage. Yeah. Everybody did it to me. You know, it's just like, dude, seriously, that's not a contest you want to win.
Yeah.
But the boundary thing where it's like, I let people say and do things that it's only this year have I gone, hey, I'd rather you didn't talk like that. Like for instance, I got a porn friend. I'm teaching her boxing. I've never hooked up with her. She's a friend. She's no longer in that stuff, but she wants to learn boxing. And I was like, yeah, I'll teach you boxing. So every Monday I hold mitts. I teach her how to box, teach her about diet and fitness. I'm giving back. I'm helping people.
Yeah.
I've got a pool. And afterwards she's like, can I swim in the pool? I'm like, yeah, of course you can. Takes all her clothes off and gets in the pool. So after 3 times of this, I said to her, and it was so hard because of how I am, I go, hey, you know, like the pool thing is cool, but like I feel like it's not appropriate for you to be naked in the backyard with me. She goes, oh, like I had no idea.
Yeah, you should have said something.
You should have said something. Yeah. I have no problem with that. I'm like, I hope I didn't offend. She's like, offend? Not at all. And I was like, but it's like these are my old habits. I feel I'm so untrained in boundaries that it was. I thought about it for weeks. Yeah. I was like, I'll say it now. And I'm like, oh man, I don't want to bum her out. She's a nice person. I know she's not hitting on me. Yeah. She's just used to being like that.
She's just naked all the time.
But I'm like, how, you know, like it's not. I don't know. And she was like, done deal. I'll bring a bathing suit. Yeah. I was like, okay. And I was like, dude, why don't you just say that to people? You idiot. But that's like the old ways.
But if you don't know, like I never had the context of boundaries are like guardrails for your relationships with people. I thought boundaries was like this negative. It was like a very yuppie term.
Is this an Australian thing?
Maybe. Because it's like maybe it's a guy thing. Maybe it's an Aussie thing as well. But it's like it was such a fucking lame word to me.
Yeah,
and it, it was just, I was like, that is so
It's gay.
Yeah.
I can say it.
Yeah. But then when you frame it in the context, because I would be like, my wife is the fucking love, like she's the best.
Yeah.
I would just let her do a thing that fucking pissed me off.
Yeah.
And not say anything.
Yeah, me too.
And she's blissfully unaware, going about her day.
You're building resentment.
And I'm fucking like, and but I don't want to say nothing because I don't want to fucking ruin her vibe. Like she's just doing her thing.
You don't want to have a disagreement. That's an uncomfortable thing to do.
This is my shit. Yeah. I'll carry it. I'll keep it inside. But then it's like you let it fester, and then it's a huge fight.
Yeah.
And then the reaction is, I had no fucking idea that this was a problem. And then you address it, you communicate, you just state a boundary, why you feel like this, and it's just like, yeah, cool.
And you get better at it. Because I've noticed that like when someone explains their boundary, because my girlfriend and I are doing this constantly because we're both addicts and we're both transformed ourselves into the people that we always were supposed to be. and will overstep or say something, and the hardest thing for me is when she notifies me of a boundary that I've broken, to not take it personally, because I'm like and I usually would shut off, and that's a thing that anybody that used to date me, they are very aware of. It's when
called
Jason
stonewalling.
Shuts off. Yeah, I shut off. We're talking days, dude.
Yeah.
Like I'll be like, I'm okay. And like, is anything wrong? No. I'm gone. I'm not home for days, dude, and I'm stewing on it. I'll be smoking or whatever, but I ain't trying to analyze why or could it have something to do with me? Was I responsible? Could I have indeed been, or did I overstep my boundary? Yeah. I'm not even contemplating that. I'm just like, what a bitch, you know? And now, like, even in the last, like, 3 months, I feel like there's been stuff said where I go, wow, you know what? You actually have a point, and I didn't realize that, and I'm really sorry that I reacted like that. It's my old ways, and yeah, like, that is, like, not okay. Like, I think I had one more recently where I said something at the Red Bull thing. I hope she doesn't mind. But I said, yeah, my knee, I've got a lot of knee damage, and I got like a cadaver, dead person's MCL. And knee sliding is hard for me to skate. When I skate to knee slide, I usually hit my knees and flick out to my ass. So if I knee slide all the way to a stop, I'm pretty proud of myself. Yeah. And people are like, why are you happy about a knee slide? I'm like, it's a long story. But I'll say, like, you know, Catherine doesn't really know, but I mean, knee slide, and she was like, hey, telling a bunch of dudes that I don't really know is like, I like grew up in, like, I know what frontside is, like, I know what a fucking knee slide is, you know what I mean? And I was like, and at first I felt hurt. I was like, what?
I didn't want to get defensive.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, I did do that. And yeah, you do know. And that's half the reason I love you, is because we found each other, and you just so happen that you fucking do know what a frontside area is. And I love you for that. How dare I say you don't know what a knee slide is? Yeah. It changed my whole angle on it. Also talking smack on myself. She's like, you know what? That's getting really annoying. And I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, the whole, like, I'm not going to make it anyway. Yeah. And I've heard people tell me that my whole life, because I've got a negative person inside me. Yeah. I'm either kicking ass or I'm a piece of shit. Yeah. And when she said it in a way where it hurt me, like it hurt when she said it, and I was like, fucking, okay. I hear what you're trying to say. I'm not taking it as an attack. You're trying to help me have a positive attitude about myself. And yeah, I am a talented guy, and I will make it work. And saying little things about how I won't, or it's always gone this way for me, is a bad habit. Yeah. And I will rectify that. Thank you. And that has never been humanly possible for me to say that sentence when someone has said that back to me, because they've said it, like I said, my whole life. And I've just thought, fuck you, you're an idiot. Yeah. That's my usual reaction to when you tell me, don't talk negative about myself. Yeah. So even now, like, you know, in 6 months from now, it'll be a different game again, because it's just a constant wake up. You know what I mean? I've used words recently where my girlfriend's like, what is that? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm getting smarter. My brain is that's the thing. Like, of all the concussions and all the injuries I've done, but because I've been so high and like on so many things my whole life, I'm sure I do have brain damage for sure. But the amount of numbing that I've been doing for 40 years, my brain, it's not neck and neck anymore. Out of the fog. My sobriety is waking up. The brain damage is like, it's in there, but the sobriety is like, boom, boom, boom. My brain is firing off. Like, I got a lot of shit happening in my head. I'm writing better jokes. Like, I'm just a better person. Yeah. It's fucking crazy. Like I said, man, not a religious person, but there is a higher power, and I am here for a reason. Yeah. And I really believe it now. Yeah. And I pray all the time, and I'm just so grateful to still be here before I go with this mind, with this thought, because I've just always been dark, dude. I've always wanted mayhem.
Yeah.
You know, and now I just want love.
Yeah.
And my kids are still young enough to see it. They've been saying it. You know, like my girlfriend's not like any other girl I've ever dated. Like if you've known me from back in the day and you see me with her, you're like, good for you, dude.
Yeah.
Always wanted that, you know?
Yeah.
I always wanted that for you.
Well, I think that's, you know, you said before, like, you don't know anyone that's had that gnarly of a life. Like,
I mean, I'm not saying there isn't because trust me, there is.
But there is like, yeah, you fucking have had a gnarly life, bro. And like gnarly on, you know, growing up and the drugs and alcohol and addictions, but then also like reaching a high level of fame, making a lot of money. Like there's just so much that you've done in your life and there's so much experience in that, you know? And it's like, I think it is like, I would always think about, you have like an artist, like a Cher or a Madonna. Madonna's probably a good example, right?
Yeah, Cher's better.
Yeah, Cher's pretty amazing. She just did the Victoria's Secret show the other day. I just watched it. She likes. Oh no, maybe that was the replay of a couple of years ago. Anyway, she's like 80 and just fantastic. But let's say Madonna, right?
Yeah.
You have like normal people.
Yeah.
And they stay in this box.
Yeah.
And everyone's kind of there. It's like a very large majority of people.
Yeah.
And then you'll have like Madonna. And she's kind of doing this thing and she's kind of going so far out of the norm that it kind of changes what normal is. Like that gray zone that operates on the fringe. Like who's the people that are kind of like up against where Madonna is, but then there's like this whole area where she is by herself.
Yeah.
So there's like this gray area and it kind of like pushes normal forward in a way.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that about skateboarding. Tony Hawk did a 900 on his own. Wasn't normal. And then it becomes normal. Like it
12-year-olds can do it.
Yeah. And it takes these people that can go far past what normal is. And then it gives license to normal people to just take a little bit step further. And it just kind of like pushes, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that there's a role that, you know, people like yourself that have just had these fucked up, crazy, unrelatable lives. And you can kind of pull something out of it, you know? Like there's probably people that are listening now that, you know, don't have as extreme a situations, or maybe they were molested as a kid, but they live a fucking pretty...
They don't think they can get out.
Yeah, and they lived a pretty normal life. You know, they kept it in, and you know, so it's like I feel like people like you that have taken things to the extreme, you kind of give normal people something to think about,
especially these days.
Push it along.
People lie. You know? People make up a lot of stuff. Like I'm a storyteller, so yeah. Do I exaggerate? Hell yeah. But I've been places where a lot of people never get out, and I've got out, and I didn't just get out. I got on top. I shined, and I'm not talking about money and all that bullshit. I'm talking about being happy,
just internally.
You're being dark, dude. When you're in the dark and you're like, you hang out with the people I've hung out with. Like most of the people that I relate to at parties have been in prison. Like those are my buddies, you know. And now I'm not like I'm just happy. Like I love Steve Caballero.
Yeah,
you know?
Most straight, clean.
He's like
chill
just happy, good guy, concerned about how you are. You know, those are the people I relate to.
Yeah.
Where what can I do to help you? You know, and even. If like the diet, I mean, I've lived a lot. I take drugs. I've eaten all the worst food. There was a time there where I would fight, and then I would eat pizza for another 6 months and put on 30 pounds, and then I'd cut weight again. Like I eat like a strict diet because I got sober. Like at one point, like how am I going to eat a good diet if I can't stop smoking weed when I wake up in the morning? Like it's not going to work out. But all these things, people go, man, are you on steroids? I'm like, what? No.
Yeah, you are pretty fucking jacked.
Look, animal based. But animal-based and sobriety. Like, I wanted to go to the gym every day, dude. I was just too high. You know, like, you're like, what, go to the gym? I'm like, I'll be there in a minute. You know what I mean? And then that one kind of fades off. Now I wake up and I'm like, you know, I clean. This is the other thing. I clean, I cook.
Yeah.
I do stuff now where I laugh at myself, dude. Like, my girl works all the time. I will come home, clean her mess, clean her clothes, make the bed, clean up all the dog piss and all this other stuff, and then go to the gym, lift weights. She comes home. I make dinner. I've never made food for anybody. Like, my kids can have cereal. You know what I mean? I'll pour it in. but like making actual food, like good food, like grass-fed beef and sweet potatoes that I bake and like things that it's like, not only is this a meal, like it's a good meal, healthy meal. I put my love, I put my heart into it.
Yeah.
Like every now and then I go, who are you? And where? And this is the other thing. Dark wants to come in and go, you could have been here this whole time. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. You're here now.
Yeah.
You know, like just live the moment right now. You're here now. You're a good guy and you're here to help.
Yeah.
So that's another thing where it's like you can be in the dark. People, oh man, I have a couple beers, that bad? If you're asking me, yeah, it is. Because some people can have it and they know it's not bad. If you're thinking about it that it is, it is.
Yeah.
And you can be better. You can be a better parent. Like it's a better skateboarder, better businessman, better lifting weights, better in the gym, better husband, better father. These are the ones where I don't want to hear your argument about how you smoke a little weed every now and then, but it's no harm, no foul. I'm a guy that's been doing it for 40 years, dude. I'm a 53-year-old skateboarder. And when I quit weed, my peripherals on the vert ramp went from this to this. Yeah. And I'm an athlete. I know what this and this is. Yeah. There's a difference. When I'm in the front there, I see the flat over here. When I was high, that's how far I see. Is my back foot on? Maybe. That's how I skated. Now I'm like, my back foot is on.
Yeah.
I feel it, and I see that landing over there. That's the difference.
I still struggle with I know I'm way better when I don't smoke. For sure.
I'm also not a guy that's like, if you don't want it, I'm not pushing it.
Yeah.
But if you want it, anybody, you hit me up, I'll tell you the way.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what it takes.
But you're right. Like you're 100% right. And you have to, there's a point where you have to value. There's a guy in Australia who he's like a bit of a motivational guy. And he's like, you only make a change in your life when the pain of change is less than the pain of staying the same.
That's a famous, everybody, yeah.
I heard that from this guy.
Who cares
and he's
who
just
said it first, as long as you heard it.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, this motherfucker's right. Because,
But you're doing it, look at you, you're kicking ass. You're not in the dark, you're not broke from it.
No,
you haven't lost your life from it.
No, but
so
there is.
And I know, dude, you're talking to a pothead. After work, is that a good feeling?
Oh,
man, it's fucking awesome. I love it. Let's play some video games, maybe fight around on fucking internet. Like, I get it, dude. But I don't have, there's a difference. I'm on the end. I could die. I have a heart condition. Doctor says I'm fine, but it could come. I could just not be here anymore. And I don't have much more time. Whatever I have left, I'm trying to give it to everybody. So when I die, I was worth something. I made this world better. And that's what means the most to me now. So it's like, I could smoke a little weed every now and then. I could eat pizza every night if I wanted to, but I don't have time for that shit. I had a great run. Yeah. It's time to get hustling.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's it's very hard to admit to yourself that
because once you admit it, now you're going to start resenting yourself every time you roll one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't pull the trigger until you know it's time to pull the trigger.
Yeah, it's a full thing, but because
you're in a business, right?
Yeah, but I'll just go back and forth to where it's like it'll be months of not, and then I'm like, nah, fucking. But I know
so many times, dude.
And I know the difference.
Yeah.
I know I'm like, fuck, you do, because the problem is, I'm like, this is what I feel at least, right? When I'm not at all, I'm like, I'm fucking reading till midnight. I'm like, there's no off switch, So it's like, but I'm just like, fuck, I'm running, I'm doing weight. I'm like, I'm just going and going and going. And I have to bury myself.
You haven't done it long enough. There's plateaus. I'll explain. You lift weights, right? It gets to a point where you can't lift anymore. And you go and you lift the same weight over and over again. You might even get a little lower, might feel even sorer. You keep going. You keep sleeping, you keep doing the work. All of a sudden, you get a little bit better. If you ride moto, you get to a point where you're like, I don't think I can get any quicker anymore. But the person that keeps going, keeps pushing, doing the same lap speeds, every now and then maybe even gets slower, but keeps going, there's plateaus. Your body wakes up and goes, oh, this was my maximum pace, is now my cruising pace. I go a little bit quicker now. I was lifting this kind of weight for like the last 6 months, maybe a year, dude.
Yeah.
But you keep going, you keep doing that militant work at it. One day you go and you go, wait a minute, what's that say? I never lifted that before. Man, you know what? Put another one on. And you're like, what the hell's going on? The work. Yeah. It's not overnight. Either the people are like, man, I've been working for 6 months. Fuck 6 months.
Yeah.
Your whole life. Everything. I don't do it anymore. I can tell, dude. It's only been a year.
Yeah.
And I'm growing exponentially.
Yeah.
Also, exponentially. Never use that word until right now. See what I mean? Shit's happening in here, dude. It's waking up.
Oh, I love it. No, and you're so right. But it's like, I get to I'm just like sick of myself if I'm not.
Are you asking for help? Because it sounds like
it. I think about it all the time. It's,
just do it.
Yeah.
Are you married, right?
Yeah.
You want to be a better husband?
Yeah.
You go to couples therapy. Why do you go to couples therapy?
Just try to be better.
You know what would make you better?
Yeah, I do.
You don't need it, dude. You don't.
It's a struggle because
There's
I say
something
that
else that you could be doing right there instead of that.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's almost the problem is I just keep fucking doing shit. It's just like,
You get used to it. There was times where I couldn't sleep, dude, where I couldn't turn it off.
Yeah.
And then, there was this struggle. This would happen to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is like, I'm going insane.
Yeah, I need to fucking do some shit. But it's like, it's midnight, everyone's asleep. I can't be doing, we spend a lot of time in Dubai. Yeah. And so there's nothing, you can't do anything there, right?
Right.
Like
so you were tweaking out?
Just fucking running, bro. Like I would,
because you couldn't smoke.
I'd take my fucking iPad and I'd put on all of the motocross, like fucking hours of motocross on my iPad, just fucking on the treadmill. Just it's like fucking 10 o'clock at night, and I'm like just going to bed having a shower. Couldn't
That'd
fucking
make
sleep.
you have better cardio, right?
Oh, I was fit as fuck.
Go to jiu-jitsu contest with better cardio.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was.
That's the other thing. I know jiu-jitsu guys; they love smoking weed.
Oh yeah, but I know for sure I'm not better at jiu-jitsu when I'm high.
I was positive that it made me better.
Nah, I know for a fact.
I did the hardest skateboard trick I ever did high. I would get real high, and then I would skate tentatively because I was a little bit blurry. Then I'd get a sweat, and then I'd be in a extra zone.
Yeah.
Like I'm a bit of a mummified zone where I'm like, there's only one thing in my mind making that trick. Brain. And then I'd make it and be like, dude, weed helps.
Yeah.
But then I skated with a clear conscience, with a
clear mind.
Truth.
Yeah.
No, if I say this to myself, this will help me go down that road. It was like, what are the facts, dude? Like, how do you see? How do you feel? Can you feel your board? Does your toe feel your board? How far can you see? Because when I skate, I don't look where I'm going. I see everything. And I'm like, I see further out. I feel my toe starting to slip on my front foot. I never feel that when I'm high. Yeah. It's just like a thing that I get used to from repeating the same trick over and over again where I'm pretty sure I know where I am. And most of the time, I am where I am. Mm-hmm. But I am faster. I'm a little bit faster. I'm a little bit more agile. I'm a little bit more like if I'm working on a trick, I go, you know what? I think I'm like maybe I should probably alley-oop it or alley-oop less. Those thoughts don't happen when I'm high because I'm just I'll just be one of those guys where I just keep doing it, and then one works. I can't even tell you how I changed it. I just made one. It's on video. Let's move on.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
And then with the same with jiu-jitsu. It's monotony. And you're like, I'm staying in it longer because I'm high.
Yeah.
But if you come with a purpose, this is the difference, man. Like people don't have, you get inspiration, you get dedication, you get like, I'll fucking die for this shit. You know, like when you have that, like where I can feel it. Like I can charge myself up where I'm like, I'm starting to feel like I'm going to cry because I'm not fucking playing, dude. Like this is one shot in this body. I'm fucking around doing some jiu-jitsu. I'm fucking doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm fucking tearing your fucking arm off. You tap, I'll let it go. But everything I do, I ain't fucking playing. You know what I mean? Like if I'm going to do comedy, I'm tired. Shut the fuck up, I'm tired. I did a show last night to like 17 people that were eating dinner. They gave a fuck. You know? And it was terrible. And the guy before me was terrible. But I'm headlining on the weekend. Sometimes I'm headlining. Sometimes I'm doing a show to 3 people. When I do the ones in 3 people, I go, this is what it takes.
Yeah,
this is the good shit right here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna write a joke about telling a joke to 3 people that were eating chicken wings. Like, I'm gonna fucking think of something because that's the some people go, oh man, this is the worst night. I don't even know why I came.
Yeah, but you have been through the process enough to where, and I think you have to kind of get to the end of a thing to realize that the start was pretty sick. Like, we probably look back at early days skateboarding or early days MMA or early days radio when it was a struggle and it was hard and you were like, fuck, it was actually pretty sick.
Yeah, okay, you're making a good point because when you start and it's all electric and new and exciting, you've got this buzz about you that makes you go through stuff that a lot of people wouldn't stay in the pocket of.
Yeah.
And that's to be excellent is to be in it for your whole life, and the monotony, you get there and you go, fucking game on. Just like I started yesterday.
Yeah.
I want it more than I've ever wanted it. That's the killer. Like, that's the one that gets it done.
And you know that at some point, like, for this, right?
Yeah.
Lots of money leaves my bank account every month. Lots of pressure, lots of stress for employees. Like, it's a lot. There was a point where it wasn't a lot. There was a point where I probably made $800 a month.
Yeah.
And life was pretty easy. I lived in Burleigh and my apartment rent was $500 a week.
Yeah.
You know, so like there's a point in the beginning that when it's the first time going through it, you think that bit sucks.
Yeah.
But then once you've gotten good, so like the stand-up comedy, Dave Chappelle's never going to perform to 3 people ever again. You know what I mean? And he's
Probably.
he's never going to be the guy that's doing that comes on before a shit comedian that, and you can look back on that time once you've been through it, and you can then, I think, enjoy those moments. So like,
that's the problem. Enjoy it now.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing that I know with comedy is these moments are glorious.
Yeah.
You know, and not just being there, the mindset when you're there.
Yeah.
Like, I live for this. Like, there's 7
this
people,
is it.
half of them aren't watching, and I'm like, yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna make you turn around and go, what the fuck did he just say? And if you don't, it's gonna eat me alive on the drive home, and then tomorrow I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna make that person laugh. Like, it's the same with all the same things.
Yeah.
They'll look back and I'm like, yeah, I had a good time. Or the times where I had a bad time, I laugh at it now where I'm like, dude, you're such a spoiled shit. Like, oh man, only half the room was full. I'm like, when it's all full, remember those days.
Yeah.
Remember what it takes, like what it took, your mindset, like being happy in the dark, in the tough times. Like, those are like when I first came to America, we had no car. I had a sleeping bag. I slept in a kid's playground. And there was a time where we walked from a freeway to McGill's skate park. I didn't know where McGill's skate park was. Someone told me it was on this road. And we'd walk for hours. And it was me and this other Australian guy. We had big backpacks, skateboards. And at one point he goes, that's it. I fucking quit. It's too hot. Like, we got to get water. And I was like, that's the difference.
Yeah.
And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, that's the difference between you and me. I'm going to make it. And you're not. Because you're folding from a fucking walk. We're walking to McGill's skate park. Mike McGill from the Bones Brigade has a skate park. I don't know how much further up this fucking road is, but I don't give a shit how far it is. I'm going to keep walking until I fucking find it. And when I get there, my legs are going to wake the fuck up and kick ass. Because this is my moment, man. And I think I was like 19.
Yeah.
And he went home.
Yeah.
You know, like 2 months later, he went home. Good guy. Probably got a wife and children and has a great life. But he's not a fucking pro skateboarder because he didn't want it like I wanted it. And I don't have skill. That was the other thing that I had. I don't have ability, dude. When I started skateboarding, my 2 friends were like overweight twins and they were way better than me for the first 3 years. I was notably terrible, like uncoordinated. But I used to make half pipes out of my mashed potatoes. I fucking think about skateboarding all day. And then one day, this is another thing that I'm realizing right now, God turned it on. I was skating with Gary Valentine at Paran Ramp, and I tried a frontside ollie, and it was about this high. And back then, anybody in Australia did a frontside ollie. If you did it above coping, you were pretty good.
Yeah.
And I posed one, and he was like, "Dude," I'm like, "What?" He's like, "You look like you could have made that." I was like, "Yeah, I kind of felt like that." He's like, "Just try it." And I made a frontside ollie about that high. He goes, "You fucking, how the fuck did you do that?" I'm like, "I don't know." He's like, "Try another one, try a higher one." And I did a frontside ollie about that high. And that, at that day, no one Australian born had ever done a frontside ollie that high, ever. And I was like, "Holy shit." And Gary was like, "Holy shit." And he's like, "Dude, what about if you just grabbed, like, tail grab or stale fish?" Tail grab, stale fish, ollied into a frontside air, ollied into a lean air. And then I did like 8 tricks in a row that day, and I was nobody. Like a week before, somebody at the local, at Paran, forgot his name, didn't like me and hit me in the back of the head with a skateboard truck because he didn't like my shoes or some shit. And then 2 weeks later, that dude was kissing my ass because I was sponsored by the local skate shop, Snake Pit. Gregor Rankin came over and was like, "Hey man, you ever done a backside ollie?" "No." "Backside ollie." "You ever done a body jar?" "No." And I just did all these things that he told me.
That's wild.
And they all came. And then like within 6 months, Gary's like, "We should go to America." I'm like, "Okay." And I went to America and stayed at Lance Mountain's house, learned 3 tricks a day on Lance's ramp, came back to Australia 6 months later, the best skateboarder, Australian-born skateboarder there was.
That is so crazy.
It was one day, dude. Gary Valentine, if you're like, you can back me. I still to this day, at the time, was like, meh. It was a good day. I remember catching the train home.
That's like a turning point in your life.
Ridiculous, because that's the other thing. Like, I wasn't kind of good. I was really bad. Like, I wasn't a chubby. I was a normal sized kid, and my friends Christian and Francis, one was fat and the other one was obese. And Christian was better than me, and he was a fat kid, and I couldn't do shit. And then I just went every day, dude. Like sometimes I'd sleep under there because I was like, I don't even want to go home. Because I just, I would take time off school and hide in an alleyway and do lines in my head, not cocaine, skateboard lines in my head. And it would last like 6 hours. I could sit there in the alleyway with my eyes open, but I'm not using my eyes. My brain is doing skateboard tricks in my head. And then every now and then I'd be like, where am I? What time is it? I'm like, oh, it's time to go home and pretend that I've been to school. And then it just, bink, my body woke up. Within a year or two, I could, maybe 4 years later from skating all the time, I could do backflips standing on the ground. My body turned into an athletical body because I skated the ramp so much every day that my body was like, oh, we're like fast. We're like athletical. But it was, that's why I knew that if you have the passion, you can have anything in your life. Because I wasn't a book or a coach, or I was like, I am uncoordinated, unbalanced and uncoordinated and untalented. Everybody around me that had been skating was clearly better than me. But the difference was I loved it more than they did. And my body caught up to the love that I had for it. Yeah. And then that's when I knew it wasn't a movie. It was a real thing I had experienced at such a young age that it carried me into radio. I got into radio, and when I first started, I was like, oh, you're actually naturally gifted at this. Imagine what you could do with natural talent.
Apply that to this.
Yeah, because I did skateboarding. I was like, you had no talent, and you made it to like top 3 in the world. This radio thing, you're good at it. Like, you could turn this into something that could, and I knew, like 10 years. That's the other thing. Yeah. Like, they weren't paying me a lot of money. I was like, it's been 3 years. Like, in 10 years from now, I'll be a millionaire. Howard Stern better watch out. That's what I was saying. Obviously, when I got to his level, you can't knock him off. Like, he was like, I own the fucking company. You're fine. But still, like, I was the number 2 guy on Sirius, where I was a DJ, dude. They didn't give me a show. Yeah. They were like, you're a DJ. And I just kept talking instead of playing songs. And before they were going to fire me, I had like a little fan base where the boss was like, holy shit, like, people, they like you. If you want to talk more, you can talk more. And then I just started calling it the Jason Ellis Show.
That's crazy.
There was no bumpers. Nobody gave me a promo. I was like, welcome to the Jason Ellis Show. And like, instead of playing No Effects, I just talked for an hour and then played No Effects one time. And then I came back and talked for another hour. And they didn't care. They were in New York. They weren't even really aware of it. And by the time they were,
it was a thing.
They were like, they didn't tell me the ratings because the money would have changed dramatically. So the first time I ever knew was Hulk Hogan hosted a show on Howard Stern's channel, and they said that he got, I think it was like 40,000 phone calls in an hour, and it was the most phone calls Sirius XM had ever got from a radio show. So I went on the air and was like, let's call the show. Like, I want to talk to everybody. And I got 87,000 phone calls in 1 hour. And when my boss told me that, I was like,
that means
at least, I mean, if it's 80, not all people called.
Yeah.
People were listening that didn't call. It's going to be like at least 300,000, you know? Like trying to do the math, but it's like, no, man, it's like 3 million people listen to that show every day, 5 days a week.
Was it better that you didn't know that it was that big for a while?
It's always been better that I didn't know I was good.
Yeah.
It's my addictions.
Yeah,
If he had paid me $100 million, I would have died. If skateboarding had paid me $20,000 a month, I would have died. The only reason I didn't die is because I didn't have any money for another bag of cocaine. All my skateboard friends knew this. Like, I didn't make a lot of money from skateboarding, but at the time, if you had given me Danny Way money, I would have OD'd.
Yeah.
Because I just would have kept going. Like I never had a bag of cocaine in the morning. You know, like when I got coke, I did it.
Yeah.
And if it went for 2 days, then I stayed awake for 2 days.
Yeah, you just
if
did
I
it
got
until
lucky
it was
and got an
gone.
8 ball, then we were awake for 3 days.
Yeah. You can't put it back in the packet, as they say.
Oh, yeah, never. I could never do any of that stuff. I wasn't capable. Same with the radio show. Like, there was a lot of money in it. But by then, the kids, you know, when my daughter was born, that was like I stopped doing hard drugs when she was born. And then my wife at the time, bless her heart, she tried so hard. That was part of my apology the other day. It was like, you tried so hard, you know? But I was like, I was a monster. I couldn't see past it. I didn't drink. I didn't cheat because she was going to catch me. She was too good at catching me. So I knew I couldn't get out of it. So I was just basically like,
just a fucking caged lion.
So like when we broke up, I was just like, wow. And then I met a girl that was like, we should have threesomes. I was like, we should?
We
and
for
you
sure
should do porn with me. I'm like, we should? Yeah. Like, you should smoke again. You should drink again. And then off the rails for another 10 years. Not her fault. Not blaming her at all. It was more, I was trying to find somebody that was like that.
Yeah,
so that I could live this thing that I thought I was born to be. I thought I was born to be that, dude.
Yeah,
That's the other catastrophe in my life. I'm just happy that I'm past it, but like, I was just all about, like, I was like, at one point, I'm a polyamorous homo who just takes all the drugs and drinks and does it. Everybody should do me at once. I would do 100 people right now, not lying. Or I want to wake up and just do it. And then fall asleep for a little bit and wake up and do it again. That's what I'm born to do. The rest of it is just a fight.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, man, I guess I'll not do sex and drugs. Like, I was just like, but what I really want to do, what really makes me happy is that.
This is who I am.
Yeah. And so I used to tell her.
Yeah.
Because she was like, it got to the point where she's like, you're out of control. I can't deal with you. And I was like, you wanted to have an open relationship. She's like, not that open. Like, Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
And I look back and I'm like, man, I got to
like the fucking borders in 2024.
Old me would have been mad at that. But I'm like, yeah, man, maybe you might be right. Things have changed dramatically in my head, dude.
But you are the story you tell yourself.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and if the story, and if you don't even know that if you don't even know you're telling yourself a story, and if you don't even know that you're living the story that like the story of you now is, I don't do drugs, I don't smoke, I don't cheat on my missus, I eat clean. Like, you're telling, it's just a new story, and you believe a new story.
Well, here's the interesting thing. This is how it all happened, right? I'm praying. And I don't really want to, but I'm praying because my sponsor told me to. So every morning I get in a 3-point stance and I pray. Because one of my sponsors told me that. Gets me fired up. I 3-point stance and then I get fired up after I pray. I'm praying, and I'm like, I don't know who the fuck I'm talking to, man. This is insane. I'm out in the backyard, my shorts on, looking like a dickhead, you know what I mean? But I'm doing it every day. And I know I'm going to the ramp today to skate with Tony, and I'm going to push it a little bit. So I get down on my 3-point stance, and I go, God, you know I'm not supposed to ask stuff for myself, but like, if you could just keep me safe today, because I'm going to push it a little bit, that'd be much appreciated. I just want to help people stay sober. Thank you for my sobriety. I get up, fired up, let's go. I go to the ramp. I slip out on an alley-oop backside Smith grind, and I get knocked out. Out. Like gone. No one's home for a minute. Tony's always been there since I've been knocked out recently, because I've been knocked out 4 times in the last 2 years. So when I wake up, it's Tony Hawk going, hey, man, where are you? And at this point, because it was like the 3rd time, I think, that I'd seen Tony say this to me, and I'm like, fuck. I'm at the ramp. And he's like, oh, why are you here? And I was like, to do a podcast with you. And he's like, okay, good, because I've been asking you this for 15 minutes and you weren't saying that. No. And I was like, oh, no. So, and I'm thinking to myself, man, did I not pray take it easy today, dude? Is this your fucking retort? Take it easy? Hey, are you... Who are you? Like, shit, dude. And then I get in my car to drive home after everyone's like, you're good. You're not doing a podcast today, dude. You need to go home. I'm like, fair enough.
Yeah.
I get in the car and a voice goes to me, kill yourself. And I go, no. And it's like, no, seriously, Jason, it's enough. Just kill yourself. And I was like, wow, that is like a really scary voice that I'm hearing. But I've been knocked out a lot in my life. And I know that when I get knocked out, there's a depression part where the darkness is louder. I've cried in the shower when it rains after a concussion. That's just like a head injury. That's part of life. And then it's like whispering, kill yourself. And I'm like, okay, dude, that's fucking creepy. No, I will not. And thanks a lot, God. Like, I say, take it easy. And now this guy's telling me to kill myself for 2.5 hours on the way back to LA. Nice. Good deal. And I get back to the house. I'm by myself in this house, dude. Sitting up, I got a divorced guy going through financial difficulties, you know what I mean? And it's spinning that all that is a thing.
Fuck.
And this voice every couple minutes is saying, kill yourself. And I'm like, no, because there was a time there, I don't want to get too into it, but there was a time there when it was real bad where there was a gun on the table. And I was like, I got kids. But I would put it on the table every morning and be like, what's the point? You know, like, give me a reason. That's another reason why I got sober, because I was like, this is getting way out of control.
Yeah, because it can go bad quick.
Yeah, and I'm committed, you know? So, like, if I'm going to do something, I'll do it. So anyway, this voice is going on. I'm arguing with it. I go to sleep. I wake up in the morning, and a voice goes to me. This is me. It's my voice.
Can you hear it? Like,
fuck yeah.
Like,
I've always. This is not a good thing, but
no. I'll ask a follow up after this.
All right,
as to why I'm asking that.
Okay, so a voice goes, "Hey man, you're all right. Like, you got a concussion. You're in the dark a little bit. Just rest. Take it easy. Go in the cold plunge. You're gonna be all right." And I was like, that is not the same voice as the other one. And I was like, that's God. And the other one is the devil. And I'm trying to make it, these are not people that I'm saying, this is Jesus and this is Satan. I don't believe in that stuff. I'm happy if you do. That's great. The good is telling me something, and the bad is telling me something. And my whole life, I've had these voices, but I didn't know who was who. And from this day on, it's never been clearer who they are. Which. So now, I still hear them. One of them I laugh at, and the other one I abide to. And since then, everything's been fucking easy. And it's just like, hey, like, why would you want to do that? That's just going to hurt someone's feelings. And I go, yeah, totally, good point. Or, hey, man, like, who's going to know? And I'm like, I'm going to know. And then I'm going to wake up and hate myself for it. Fuck off. And now that voice, very rarely does it say anything. But when it does, it gets laughed at.
And the other one is God. In my mind, it's God. My higher power is saying, this is what you should do, Jason. I know it's me, but from that concussion, another reason why I believe in praying is I prayed to take care of me. He did.
Yeah.
It did
was just
take
in a
care of
very
me.
strange way.
But that's the only way I learned, dude. And it knew that. I'm not going to learn the easy way. It's got to be through something catastrophic for me to go, like, dude, 3 hours and then like another 5 hours in my house by myself with a voice in my head whispering, kill yourself. I was like, and I'm not a guy that calls people, Like, I'm like, what am I going to do? Call someone, tell them there's a voice whispering in my head, kill myself? I'll keep that to myself, But then when I woke up in the morning, there was something else that said something to me. And I'm like, I hear you.
Yeah.
I know, and I pray with conviction now. Like, I know I'm talking to something.
Yeah.
And I'm not, like I said, I don't care what it is or what it wears or if it's a guy or a girl or anything. I don't believe in any of that shit. I just know that I am being heard. I don't even know if I might be just talking to myself, but I believe in myself. I believe in who I'm talking to, and my what I want is pure. It's only got good intentions. And if any of that stuff starts to enter my mind, I know what that is. I'm like, I've been down your road. I've lived that my whole life, and look where it got me. Look at the people that I love that I've hurt. Never again, dude. You are never going to be close to touching me ever again. I'm only going this way. And it gets better every day for it.
Yeah.
But that was like the biggest, like, where I was like, wow. And then now I hear it where it's just so clear. Even, it's like, don't do that. Just go home today. And I go, good choice. Because that's the thing we were talking about earlier about doing the jumps and facing stuff where I'm like, part of the devil has helped me.
Yeah.
Like there was a time there where he was, he took me, turn yourself tough. Because that's from people molesting me. I built this. Like, I've been to therapy. I'm not a scary person. I'm a terrified person. But I built this to protect that 5-year-old kid. You will not touch Jason again. You touch Jason, this guy's here. And he will fucking end you.
Yeah.
But it's not necessary. It's over. It's gone. But there was a time there where I psychologically built this puff up. It's all smoke, dude.
Yeah.
Not a tough guy. I don't want to fight anybody. I don't want to hurt anybody. Even the last MMA fight I had, like, I didn't want to hurt the guy. He just wouldn't tap. So I broke his arm. But I said tap.
Kimura or something.
Yeah. Yeah, and I kept working on it. I beat it with there's like 2 seconds left in the third round. But the whole time, once I got it past, I was like, tap, bro, dude, tap.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't tap. He started screaming and the ref pulled me off. But when they pulled me off, I was like, dude, and the ref pushed me away. I was trying to see if he was okay. Because I don't go, bang, suck it, motherfucker. Like, I'm not that guy. I was like, it went like, started snapping, and I was like, tap, dude, tap. I felt bad. Because I'm not, I know I'm not a good fighter, because good guys are like, I'm going to break your shit, dude. I'm not. Like, maybe the best man win.
Yeah. Dude, I saw a video of Khabib. It was one of his like early fights in the UFC, the one where he was like in half guard and then he had his knee on the guy's like bicep basically. Yeah. So the guy just had one arm and then he
wasn't a Kimura, it was a key lock, sorry. Anyway.
Yeah. That's they hurt more than Kimuras for me.
It looked like it hurt him.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
But yeah, he just was was just elbowing this guy in the face. I'm just like, that is so fucking brutal. Like, so insanely brutal.
But you got to take into account if you've been in the game, when you get elbowed in the face, it's not the same as a regular person.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
there's a different expectation.
Like I've been hit and I'm like, it's the game, Yeah. Like the first fights is different. My first MMA fight, I was so terrified.
Oh, dude.
And then once I finally got on top of the guy, I saw his face and he was terrified. And it was such a relief because I was like, oh, we're both shitting ourselves. This is awesome. But for the first round, I was like, oh. Like I was so tentative because I was like, if you hit me, I'm out. If I hit him, he's out. And it was just like this ball of stress.
Yeah.
Once you blow your lungs out, and like he hit me a bunch of times, and I flipped him over. I remember I flipped him over, and I was like, and I saw his eyes between his legs going,
And I was like, oh, you scared too? Okay, cool.
Dude, the first time you're in just like a street fight, fist fight, whatever, and it's just like a very clear, you're just standing across from another dude. The fucking lack of power that you have in your limbs is frightening.
Yeah,
dude.
nobody really wants to do it.
Oh,
I mean, if you really want to do it, there's something, you're not fighting that person, you're fighting something else.
Yeah.
And I know those people, and they're very terrifying people to be around. But to me, it's
One
never
Diego
been.
Sanchez.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even think that. I think more like a Nate Diaz.
Oh man, yeah.
I think Diego is like, because that I can relate to that more. Like, I can dig in, and I'll die to win, and you can't stop me. And no matter what you throw at me, unless I go to sleep, I'm coming. I'm relentless, but I don't really want to.
Yeah.
Like Nate and
Really
Nick
wants to.
really want to.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Right now, let's go.
Yeah.
I don't really know you, but if you want me to slap you in the face, I'll fucking slap you. Like, to me, I'm like, dude, this is ridiculous. He was like, oh, hell yeah, anyone. Oh, you? I didn't even know you. You want to get? I'll kick you in the face. Like, that's them. But that's because they grew up in a. I don't even want to. That's like, I don't know what happened to them as children, but it was obviously physical. And now they are here. They like those two defend each other to death.
Yeah.
And that's something that they've used in a positive way.
Yeah.
Because look at them now. But it's also this, they're not working on themselves. They're still dark. They're not fixed. And, and a lot of guys look up to that. And those are the guys that are in alleyways talking shit and just puffing up. And those are the people that I steer clear of because I don't want to hurt anybody. I'm not trying to, I don't want anybody, like, you want to call me a pussy? I agree. I am a pussy. I really am. Like, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to fight you. If you feel like you're a fag, I'm like, yeah, if that makes you feel better, like, as long as we don't have to fight, even if I know I got you. Because I've also won fights where I feel bad. Like, I've knocked people out before, and now I'm like, oh. You know what I mean? Like, man, hey, man, you know, I'm not like, you know, like, it's, if I've ever been like that, it's because I was blacked out, wasted.
Yeah.
But like me, like, I don't want to hurt anybody. I feel like if you haven't done that to somebody, you think you want to do that.
Yeah,
wait till you've done it.
do,
Wait till you smash someone in the face and their teeth come flying out of their mouth and they look like they're dead. It ain't cool, dude.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
And that's what I think most people are like. That's what I think anyway.
I think that's like one of the reasons why you should do some kind of combat boxing or like something jiu-jitsu, like, because I think that the better you get at something, like, I wouldn't now, like, I've been in situations where like someone's been like at a bar or whatever, someone's in my face and I'm like, brother, let's not do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
There's no way that this ends well for me or you.
Yeah, nobody wins.
Because if I just choke you and drop you on your face in front of all these people, I actually look like an asshole.
Yeah.
So it's like the better that you get at something like that, the less you want to fight. And then also the more confidently you can stand in front of a person and diffuse a situation. Like nothing diffuses a fight better than someone standing there that doesn't look like they know how to fight and being like, hey, bro, I actually don't think we should do this because I'm pretty sure I'm going to fuck you up.
To me,
that is a very disarming thing.
The trauma of it, like, for me, from all the training and all the fights I've had, when somebody wants to fight me, it's, even if we don't fight, it's a traumatical experience for me. But now, because I've had wars with people, if you want to fight me, it's kind of cute. You know, I'm like, dude, come on, man. Like, just let it go. But my heart rate's not up. Yeah. I'm like, please, it's not worth it. It's like, what are you, a pussy? I'm like, if you want everyone to know that I am, if that will make you feel better, I'm okay with that. Like, yeah, you got me, man. I'm scared. I know I'll kill you, dude. I'm not getting riled up about it. In 5 minutes from now, I'm going to go get a meal. I don't care. Yeah. There was a time there where, win or lose, that's affecting me for weeks. Yeah. We butted heads. We had an argument. You threatened me and I backed down, or you threatened me and I threatened you. Like, it's like a
cringe.
Yeah, there's
and
no
all the-
winners in it.
You know, like all my childhood, people fought around me. I saw people's faces changed, dude, and it scarred me forever. Like, you know, I grew up with people that not cool. You know, like I've seen people, they look like they're dead. I might have seen a couple of people actually dead, but I don't. It's not glamorous in any way, and it's like it's traumatizing. But now from all the, because I've had fights with people where my nose is broken and you're kicking me in the head, and I'm thinking, move, dart around, like keep throwing. And when you've done that several times, you're like, if you do punch me in the face, you think I fucking care, dude? Do you know what this head has hit? Yeah. Like I will break your hand with my face. That's the level I'm at.
Yeah.
Like I'll see that and be like, bam. And it won't do anything to this because this is smashed into, this is basically an elbow at this point. I've hit it on so many things. Like I forgot, I've got comedy friends that I'm like,
my skull is callous, bro.
It is. Dude, you know, like I used to practice, people would punch me in the face, not blinking. Because if you blink, you can't see the right hand.
Yeah.
So I'll eat your jab. Like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And I'm like,
have you ever seen the videos of Floyd Mayweather where like, there's dude, the crazy, like just sick shots of like like a Canelo, like the fucking shit. And then he just throws this jab at him, and then Floyd moves back to where it's like just touching, and his fucking eyes don't even blink. And you're just like, bro, because that is hectic.
It's measurement. Like you're like
just
watching
the calculations.
Like I'm
that the
faking.
brain's
I'm
doing.
standing with you. I know where my toe is and where your toe is.
Yeah.
And I know that your extension. I'm like, extend. If I'm leaning a little bit back, so you overextend, you're not going to get back quick enough, and I'm going to land mine. But he had that kind of speed, so he could get away with it. Like, that's the other thing. Everybody does a Mayweather that's learning how to fight. All dudes do. Girls don't.
Oh, yeah.
All dudes, when they fight and they haven't trained, they do this. And it's a move. It's a stance that Floyd Mayweather made famous. Because this comes up and it protects his head, but he rolls with it, and then he comes back with this one.
Yeah.
Most dudes don't move that quick. They don't know how to get their shoulder up to their head. They're not going to angle it, which is safer. If you're going to punch me in the face, this or this. Like, you're going to do this in time? Like, you are not going to do this in time. I'm just going to keep punching you in the fucking head, you dumbass. Yeah. But they go, oh, man, I see Mayweather do this. You don't have any roll. You don't have any of that stuff. You don't have no George Foreman's. You have none of the things. You just saw this on TV. Like, put your fucking hands up. I always I'm constantly telling dudes, hey man, where'd you get that from? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, this thing that you're doing right here, where'd you get that? Oh, I've fought a couple of times. I'm like, nope, you haven't. It goes up here. This one goes up here. This one goes up here. You know why? Because it's there to protect. What's like, you're not going to make it. And some people will be like, yeah, I am. And I'm like, bang, what happened?
Yeah.
Why didn't you block that? Why don't you just put it right here, and then you don't have to bring it up? It's there. It's like this weird TV.
Just Instagram boxes.
Man. Like girls learn. Like I train guys and girls. Girls learn quicker. Not all the time, but most of the time, girls learn quicker because they go, "What do you want me to do?"
Yeah, I'll listen.
And then I tell them, and they do it.
Yeah.
Guys are like, "Yeah, but I'm pretty sure." I mean, I've had a couple of bar fights, and I'm like, dude. Bar fight people are my favorite people to destroy because you hold your breath, you drop your hand, and you throw with everything you got. And I'm like, to train people, I'm like, man, I could have a sandwich before that shit gets here. And I know which one it is.
Yeah, no, I just know
like,
it's coming.
None of this, like people think fighting is like, it's two hands, how hard can it be? I'm like, dude, it's like saying dirt bike riding, jumping.
Yeah, it's
like
easy.
How hard can it be?
Yeah,
just hit the throttle right. Like
you got a motor.
Well, then go on.
Yeah.
And then say, hey man, the thing bucked me off, and I flew like 100 feet. Yeah, funny. You know what's crazy about it is if you don't do it every day for 10 years, it's actually quite difficult. And boxing is one of those things where guys won't agree that that's a thing. And I'm like, the only way to tell you or teach you is like,
just to
go
punch
ahead.
you in the fucking head.
I'll give you 30 seconds. Go ape shit on me. See what happens.
Yeah.
And they're like, man, I'm like,
you might even be a triathlete. Like you're gonna get tired. You're gonna hold your breath. You're gonna throw shit. I'm 53, man, but I'm gonna move. You're not gonna touch me because I see everything that you're gonna do. Because you're like, it's just like all dudes do that. All dudes.
Yeah.
I've never met a dude that is like, unless he's like, what do I do?
Yeah, yeah.
Tell me what I need to do,
Yeah.
and I will do it. That person learns so much more and so fast compared to I've had a couple of bar fights, guy, which is most people even haven't had a bar fight. They just say that. Because I used to do the Ellis Mania thing, and the amount of people that would say that, I just got used to it.
Dude, you and Uriah Faber's fucking 2.5 minutes of
Dude,
fury.
you know what's funny about
that?
that?
Was fucking awesome.
Dude, I fought Forrest Griffin before that, and I think
shit.
Keith Jardine. Yeah, dude, it was 10 dudes.
So is that
Do you know that?
I've just seen the clips.
That video of that fight.
That's what I thought. I was like, this is like some Shark
He was like
Tank
number
shit.
7.
Oh,
So,
brutal,
dude,
bro.
I fight all these guys. I'm so tired because I was still drinking and smoking back then. And I'm in the corner, and Dr. Drew is my corner man because I thought it'd be funny. And I'm like, just put ice on my neck or, shake my arms. He's like, what do I do? I'm like, just do that.
Nothing's going to work, bro.
Just
I've
act.
just
Yeah,
fought 7
nothing's
dudes.
going to make it. It's cool to have you in the corner. It's funny. That's what I thought. It'd be funny. So I've got my hands on my elbows like this, and I'm sucking in air. And he goes, oh, this guy's going to be easy. You can take it easy. He's got a baseball cap on. And I look up, and I go,
Fuck.
it's Uriah Faber, you dickhead. And he's like, who's that? And I'm like, you're about to find out. And because he had the hat on, I felt disrespected because I've got an ego, I know who you are, but you think I'm a skateboarder, huh? That's what I thought. I was like, oh, you're going to wear your fucking baseball cap while you box me and you've got jeans on because you think it's that fucking easy, huh? So I mustered up some energy.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking
And
cool.
I threw a couple of jabs. So the jab hit him and it moved his hat. And then I hit him again with another jab and he took his hat and threw it. And then he just came. Like the 2 jabs, he was like, oh, fuck you. And then he just came forward with overhand rights. And I was like, I'm not backing out, dude. I'm staying. And I did not move. I stayed and kept throwing. He landed multiple shots on me. A couple of them.
There was a couple big shots.
A couple big right hands stung me.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know.
You got a couple in there?
Thank you.
Yeah,
I landed several shots, my friend. A couple
And you
body
could
shots.
You could see the respect at the
Yeah,
end.
dude.
He was just like, fuck it, good work. Like,
That's all I wanted, dude.
Yeah,
That's all I've ever wanted from those guys. That was the difference. Like, I'm not a Jake. I don't want to humiliate my idols. Like, I fought Shane Cowan. He had one arm. There was a point there where I had the good arm locked, and I just went dink dink like friendly because I'm like, if I'm not trying to hurt Shane Cowan. I'm trying to move around with the great Shane Cowan.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted from it. It's same with all those other guys. I didn't want to win. I didn't have like malicious thoughts at all. I was like,
this is fun.
Forrest Griffin. I mean, I'm terrified, but also like Bing, I'm like, did anyone see that?
Yeah.
I landed a shot on Forrest Griffin. Go ahead, beat me up.
Yeah.
I just wanted to land one shot. And that was the same with Uriah, where he's like, man, good jab. And
You
I was
could
like,
tell, yeah.
thank you, dude. Yeah, I was so stoked.
It was such a cool clip.
Yeah, that was funny. Did you know that when that clip went viral, Dana White saw it and called Uriah and flipped out on Uriah, and nobody in the UFC was ever allowed to be in my event ever again.
Really?
And Dana kind of stopped talking to me after that too.
So what organizations did you fight in?
The first organization was not a real, I don't even know. It was Ryan Sheckler did a charity MMA event, so I don't even think it was a real one. And then I fought for King of the Cage.
Yeah.
But I only had a couple fights. I had more boxing fights.
Okay.
So it was more, I had a real boxing fight against Gabe Rudiger, who was like a UFC fighter, and I knocked him out.
Yeah, right.
And then I got a rematch against him, and I dropped him. I won again, but I didn't finish him. But that's, dude, I couldn't stop smoking weed. So my cardio was never like that great.
Did you just smoke joints or bongs?
Everything.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I feel like
whatever I could
sometimes
get.
bongs can give you like a bit of a good lung capacity. You gotta
Wait.
pull that shit hard.
Wait, I'm sorry. You think it would help?
Oh, I'm just saying, maybe there's something.
That's
to
the
that.
dumbest thing you've ever said. Bong rips help your cardio.
I don't know, like lung.
You don't know. That's the correct. You don't know. That's bad.
You know those fucking machines where they're like that. You gotta suck the bubble up, isn't it? Like they get. Same fucking thing, bro.
Yeah, the bigger the toke, the better cardio you get.
Pack it in fucking
A
hard.
giant amount of smoke in your
just
lungs.
suck that
It just
shit.
helps you. Like Lance Armstrong used to do the biggest bong loads ever. Like, no, dude, that's not how that goes. They fuck you up hard.
There's all this science that says you're an idiot.
They wreck you. Yeah, the more I would smoke weed, the more I would notice. Because in my pro MMA fights, I did quit smoking weed.
How much cardio training did you do?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah. For the pro MMA fights, yeah, I did beach sprints. I actually got Dominic Cruz.
No shit.
Yeah, a good friend of mine who took me to his team, Alliance.
Oh, yeah.
And first of all, him and his friends put me through a really heavy sparring session where he told me afterwards that he tried to knock me out to see what I was made of.
Yeah, if you could do it.
And he landed a good one because he's obviously so much faster than me. And he could, he's smaller than me, but he landed shots that I didn't see coming. And
Which are the ones that get you.
yeah, so one of them landed and my front foot buckled, and I just came at him. And then after it, he goes, "You're gonna be all right, man." And I go, "What? Why?" And he's like, "I tried to knock you out, and I saw your response." He's like, "If you have that kind of attitude in this fight, if he gets a hold of you, you just keep that attitude and you'll be fine." And he was right, because that fight, he actually fought the guy I fought. Gabe Rivez was a guy before Dom, and they trained at the same gym. And he said that he used to be a bit of a bully and beat Dom up. And then Dom became really good and obviously was way better than Gabe. But this guy had a Raiders tattoo on the side of his head. Like he was.
Oh, that's fucking.
He was a
legit.
heavy dude.
Yeah.
He had like 80 fights. Like he
No
was.
way.
Yeah, and that was he was like 40-40, and I was 1-0.
Wow. That's gnarly, dude.
I didn't know, but in the how the videos beforehand when you fight each other.
Yeah, and it comes up on the
I didn't
the tail
see
of the
his
tape.
video because I was like, "Hey man, like I'm just looking to punch him in the face. I want to put on a show for the people, and maybe the best man win." And he was like, "This guy, skateboard raider guy, thinks he can come to my world. Like I'm gonna make him pay." And was pissed. I didn't know he was pissed. I thought like, "Hey man, good luck." The first round, he caught me and like almost knocked me out, and I went blind, and I just heard a humming sound. And I was like reaching for something, and I was like holding onto him, and then he hit me again, and it woke me up, and I was on my back, and I was like, "Oh no!" Like he's on top of me, and I'm not a good grappler. Like I'm a boxer is really what my best attributes are. And I was like, "Uh-oh!" But he's not a good grappler either, so I managed to get back up.
Yeah.
He got me a few more times. Like the second round, he beat me up a little bit, but I took him down a lot. And then the third round, I beat him up a lot until I got that key lock and broke his arm. But in the dressing rooms afterwards, because I won, and my corner guy, Eddie Jackson, I had Keith Jardine in my corner.
No way.
Yeah, and Keith Jardine was like, and I had Saxon's Muay Thai. Like I had really good really good training, and also I got put through it with some of the better
Really
guys
good
in the
guys.
world. Like
Yeah.
I was doing sprints with all these guys. Dominic Cruz taught me like a treadmill sprint thing. He's like, "Don't tell anybody about this. This is what I do when I do championship fights." He's like, "You do this, your cardio is going to be good." And it was the most painful thing I've ever done, but I did it. I did it. Like when he told me to do it, I did it. And I wanted to vomit. A couple of times I did vomit, but I did these sprints, and it was super hard because my knees are, if I go real fast, they swell up.
Yeah.
But I took the pain, my cardio was up, and I think that's what saved me, because he did concuss me, but because my cardio was so good, when he knocked me out, I didn't go to sleep, or if I was dazed, but I woke up real quick. But after the fight, the dressing room, I was like, Eddie was like, "Man, your face is pretty banged up," and I was like, "Is it?" And I looked in the mirror, and I was like, "Oh my God!" Like big egg on the side. Like my skull's a little bit different. I think he might have cracked my jaw or something. But like it was all so messed up, and I had big cut on my eye, and the doctor was like, "I'm gonna take you to hospital for stitches." And I was like, "No, I'm gonna go to an after party," because I had a suite in a hotel,
and some things that I was going to do. And I was also weirdly friends with Marilyn Manson at the time before I knew about all this other stuff that he might have been involved in. So he's like, you got to FaceTime me after the fight. And I was like, okay. Still like, I thought it was cool to like FaceTime Marilyn Manson. So, but in the lobby, my wife at the time was getting the room and security comes up and goes, sir, do you need me to call the police? And I was like,
Who hurt you?
I think I had like a pizza or something because I was like, I hadn't eaten good food in a long time. I was like, why? What happened? He's like, you've been in a fight. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, no, that was on purpose.
It's an organized fight. And he's like a gang? And I'm like, wait, no. Organized, like a MMA fight. Like, I'm good. I'm okay. Okay, well, I'm going to have to ask you to, because you're bleeding in the lobby. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Because it was just leaking out of my face. And then when I went upstairs, I got a burger. And I remember I couldn't open my jaw to eat the burger. So I had to cut it up into pieces to put it in my mouth. But it was like a weird, like Dax Shepard came.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, like all these other celebrity. Anne Heche, like, was a friend of mine, rest in peace. Like, it was all this weird, like Rob Corddry was in a suit at a King of the Cage, like after King of the Cage.
That's wild.
After the fight, Rob Corddry, I guess he was at a function beforehand and came with like a
black tie.
A black tie and I'm bleeding all over the place. He's like, no, it's fine.
Let's get a photo.
Yeah, and I'm like, holy shit. It was such a crazy night.
Oh, that's so good.
But those are the things where I was like, I was going to keep going, but I was never doing it for money or anything. Yeah. I just wanted to be tested. And that fight went so bad and I came back and won that it was kind of over for me.
Yeah.
Like I was like
you got out of it.
If you do it again, why? Yeah. Like, are you trying to better your record? Why?
Yeah,
like you're not trying. Let's be honest. I'm not a good MMA. No, this was 10 years later. I was 48 when I had my last fight at King of the Cage. Yeah, I was old.
No shit.
Yeah, dude, I raced cars that day. I raced Lucas Oil Series and got second place.
Truck, and then went
and then drove to wherever, Riverside, and fought this dude in a King of the Cage fight, which was kind of a bad idea looking back.
It is important to me that supplements I take are of the highest quality, and that's why for years now I've been drinking AG1. Unlike many supplement brands, AG1 conducts relentless testing to set the standard for purity and potency. Quality for AG1 isn't just a buzzword, it's a commitment backed by expert-led scientific research, high-quality ingredients, industry-leading manufacturing, and rigorous testing. I know I can trust what's in every scoop of AG1 because it's tested for 950 contaminants and banned substances, while the industry standard typically only tests for 10. I love that every scoop of AG1 includes probiotics, prebiotics, and digestive enzymes for gut support, rhodiola, and B vitamins for energy support. So if you want to replace your multivitamin and more, start with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs at drinkag1.com/gypsytales. Check it out. When did you notice the accent, like the words changing and shit?
I think I changed my accent on the radio.
Yeah, right.
Because if you have a radio show in America and nobody can understand what you're saying, they're not going to listen for that long.
Yeah.
And I think when I hear the old show, I think I sound more Australian. I also think my voice was higher too. But I think when you're on the radio, when you talk a lot, it's like I noticed Howard Stern's voice got deeper over the years. Something about being a broadcaster. I don't know what it is. Talking a lot. I think you slow it down.
Yeah, I wonder if you, because I watch old clips of this. Like I've been doing this since 2017, 2018, and you look at old clips and it sounds a little bit different. I think after a while you just kind of like relax into it.
Yep.
Like I'm having a fucking great time.
Right.
I don't feel any anxiety or pressure.
Do you think you sound more American?
Nah. Right. I don't think so. I think there's actually like a joke with Jason Wygant that he used to make. He's like the announcer for Supercross.
Yeah.
He's like, bro, there is not a more Australian accent than you. That's what he used to say. And there was like 5 years he knew me. He was like, it hasn't fucking changed.
I thought that about you at the Red Bull thing.
Really?
Yeah.
But I also, where you're from, is more Australian than where I'm from.
Way gnarlier accent.
Like we
there.
think you're a real Australian and I'm in Australia.
Yeah.
Like Melbourne's stuck up.
Yeah.
You know?
We were fucking.
You guys are
backyard
country
bush.
guys.
Yeah. So, but I go home now. I feel like I talk more. I try and like enunciate more these days. Like my wife says, you swallow your words. She's fucking Russian and she speaks better English than me. So that was like I just think we have like a very thick accent up there.
You're a
But
bogan.
I go home now, bro, and like it's like a different language. Like I have to talk the way that my friends talk. Like you just get sucked into talking like that, very exaggerated.
I reckon that happens.
You know,
I think I might sound more Australian because I'm talking to you.
maybe yeah.
Yeah.
But I would notice when I first moved here that I'd have to change the way I talk just to be understood.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't order shit on the phone.
Dude,
Yeah.
what is that?
Yeah,
Dude, I got a joke about that where when I first moved here, I couldn't order fucking pizza on the phone
100%.
and I couldn't go through the fucking drive-through.
100%.
And also my phone won't understand me unless I go, where is Carl's Jr.? And then it goes, oh. But if I go, where's Carl's Jr.? It goes, nah, did you mean you wanted to go to Starship Enterprise? I'm like, what? I didn't say anything about a Starship. Same with ordering food. If I go 555, they go 231. And I'm like, okay, 555. And then it goes, oh, 55. And I'm like, motherfucker, I'm making fun of your accent.
Dude,
you get it.
The one that I would say to people, Coke, no dice on Coke. Can't order a Coke anywhere. You know the one that fucking kills me? Ice.
Oh, because they say ice.
I can't ever
Ice. Yeah.
say fucking ice to where someone could understand it. You know, and I just go, can I have frozen cubes of water?
Ooh, nice.
Frozen
Look at
cubes
you.
of water. That's all I'm chasing.
Yeah, that
Just-
doesn't sound like a dickhead or anything.
Oh, and people think they're like, you're being a cunt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, I'm
Yeah,
just...
trust me, if I say ice, we're going to be here all night.
Yeah, I'm just trying to fucking get along. I'm just trying to play the game. But one thing that I noticed that nowadays no one asks where you're from. When I first moved here, so 2010 was when I first came here,
Oh, because they know.
everyone was just like, I love your accent. Where are you from?
Yeah.
Now it doesn't exist. No one fucking cares.
So you can blame YouTube for that.
I
Right?
reckon, It's got to be like Instagram,
reckon,
YouTube.
Like, how long have you been living here?
A long time.
I reckon, I can't, what the fuck?
That's just like taking you straight back.
That's the one, those are the ones where I go, that's what I remember. Yeah.
straight out.
In the bush when I was a kid. I reckon, Yeah.
It's fucking pretty funny. And my wife now, like, she's got such a fucking mixed, like, the way she talks is just so fucking mixed now. Like, she'll go full Aussie, she'll go full, like,
Oh, wow, she has both.
not like,
Wait, Russian American and Australian accent.
well, she doesn't really ever do the American thing, but she'll just say,
But
like,
she could.
Aussie words. So she'll
Okay.
say Aussie words, and then she loves British. So she'll be like, in it. So
Oh, okay.
Russian
Hey,
chick
well, how'd
just
she get
says,
that?
"In it."
Who she knows British?
Just fucking, I think she just watches it off YouTube. She just likes
Nice.
it. Yeah.
Must be cool to speak another language.
Bro, she speaks 4 languages.
Nice.
Fucking insane.
Spanish?
No Spanish.
Fuck.
Chinese.
Chinese?
Yeah, like fluent, dude.
How the fuck did she learn that?
She lived there
Oh,
for
that's a
like
pretty good argument.
Yeah, 8 years. But yeah, like
Yeah, I want to learn Spanish, man.
dude, sickest language.
Yeah.
You should
I
do it.
learned my boxing coach teaching me salsa dancing, so I'm like super into salsa dancing. I listen to Spanish music all the time. I listen to salsa all the time because salsa dancing helps you with your footwork in boxing.
Oh, for sure it would, bro.
So it's like the same kind of foot patterns and stuff. It's on how to cut angles.
Yeah.
So I'm super obsessed with that. Super obsessed with Spanish people. I feel more Mexican. Like whenever I go to the river, my chick is into like going to the bush and going in rivers and shit because she's like a country girl. And when I go to the river in different cities doing comedy, wherever the Mexican guys are,
Yeah, you
that's
kind
my
of feel
spot.
comfy.
Yeah. Like I feel like my cowboy vibe is like people are like, you know, you kind of look like a Mexican dude, right? I'm like, I kind of am. Like gold teeth.
Canelo's a ranger.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. I'm basically a really shitty fat Canelo. I'm trying to be anyway. In the boxing gym.
Good thing to try and be.
Fuck
really.
yeah, strive to dude. Like, cause he's the king as
Aim
far as
up,
I'm
bro.
concerned.
Yeah.
He's the best boxer alive.
Did you ever see clips of Lomachenko doing ballet and shit,
Yeah,
like Russian ballet?
yeah.
Bro, he's a fucking freak.
Yeah, those are. I can't relate. You know what I mean? Because it's too good.
Yeah.
Like I was a really flat-footed fighter, and I was my boxing coach now. That's been my coach for several years now. I was like, I stand in the pocket, I bang. Like I hit hard, and I can take a hit.
Yeah.
And my first coach was an Australian guy over here, heavyweight boxer. He fought Lennox Lewis.
No shit.
Yeah, and he was sort of like a bit of a father figure to me because he was a tough cunt from Australia. And he's like, I slap the cunt, you know what I mean? He's like, hey, when you get in the ring, if you don't fucking knock him out, I'll fucking knock you out. And I was like, why are you going to knock me out? He's like, fucking knock him out. He was a tough guy, you know what I mean? And it worked.
No school like the old school.
It worked for me, you know what I mean? He's like, speed bags, fucking homos.
Yeah.
You know, jumping ropes for fucking homo. I'm like, jumping ropes for homos? Yeah, fuck it, just punch a cunt. You know, and I'm like, okay, I'll just punch a cunt. And then I think it was somebody, I went to spar somebody, and I was like, all right, I'm ready. And they were like,
Oh.
is that you warming up? And I was like, yeah, warming up's for homos. He's like, warming up's kind of necessary. And I was like, oh yeah? He's like, you get injured or something. I was like, man, I've been a pro skateboarder for 20 years. I never warmed up. I never stretched. I never iced. I learned all this later on in life from like other people and getting hurt. And
Just
going,
like balanced humans.
maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Maybe there's something to that. Let me try it out. Son of a bitch, you were right. So then when I got this new boxing coach, he's like, you're pretty flat-footed. I was like, yeah, I'm a flat-footed fighter.
That's what I do, bro.
I hit hard. I stand in the pocket. And he's like, somebody.
He's like, you're also 53.
Yeah,
Jason.
yeah. Mayhem Miller told me once. He's like,
there's a name.
you got hit. He's like, you're good at taking a shot. And he's like, some people used to say that about me too. And then someone said, wouldn't it be better to be known as somebody that gets out of the way of punches? And I was like, I never thought of that. You know, because I never thought I had the option. And then when I started training with my friend Josh, he taught me foot patterns and cutting angles. And being older and being a little slower, I do get out of the way of stuff now. And also from having a lot of brain trauma, me moving out of the way of stuff makes it
It's a
easy. It
net
makes
positive thing.
makes me okay with still boxing.
Yeah.
Because there was a time there where it was like, I'm just going to get in. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna smother you, and you start punching me, and I start punching you, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And usually I'll be like, you're starting to regret it, aren't you? And I'm like, that's my technique. You
That's
know?
my game.
Yeah, in on the guts, and then up high, and you hit me, and I go, didn't do shit, whack, and then hit you. But then there was people that would hit me, and I'd be like, okay, that really hurt. You win. So then I was like, what about if you got out of the way? And then learning how
Let's
to
try
slip.
this defense thing.
Yeah, learning how to slip, cut ankles, you know, all these little things that I never thought would be possible because I did all these foot drills and my feet woke up. It's not a mere, I'm not a 180 or anything, but the amount of angles that I have now and footwork that I have, I've gathered that in the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Which is to be, 50 and be better than you were when you were 49 is pretty crazy.
That's just that has to be like, I feel like that's going to be one of my hobby horses over the next 10 years as I just keep doing this podcast is like, hey, let's all get old and stay doing our shit.
Yeah, because you can.
Like, let's keep getting better at this.
You can.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, look at Cab.
Yeah.
Cab rides moto like a gun.
Bro, he's actually very good.
He's better now than he was.
Yeah.
And he's, 56 or something?
He's fucking old.
He is old.
Yeah.
And he still skates.
Yeah.
Still shreds.
I just
He's a fucking shredder, dude.
I just want to be that guy. Like that. I come from a generation, like my dad was pretty fit. My dad raced moto. My dad was like, he was a very active dude, right? His body now is fucked. So he's 60. Both knees are fucked. Like we'd get him all the stem cells. We
got him?
Oh yeah, we try everything. Like he's pretty
Not
fucked.
working.
It works, but it just works for a bit.
What
And then
stem cell? Where's he going?
there's a guy in Australia. So, but I think I'm going to bring him over here for Supercross.
Yeah.
And I'm probably maybe send him to Mexico or just do something.
Mexico's pretty good. I don't know for sure, but I do know that Colombia Bio Accelerator is the greatest.
Have you been and done it?
Yes. That's why I still skate. That's the only reason I still skate.
So what did you get done and where did you like?
Twice I've been.
Okay.
Both ankles, both knees, shoulder, hip,
What kind of stem
Wrist.
cells was it?
from the umbilical cord.
The real deal.
The good shit.
Yeah, that's the difference, dude.
So they did it like...
Take it out of your own
Yeah,
body.
your hip and stuff.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
I did that too. I did that in Texas.
Did it help?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But nowhere near.
Right.
This is such a scam, dude. Like in America, you can't get the proper stem cells because they want you to get a knee surgery. Then they want you to take the painkillers and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
I go to Bioaccelerator. I go to Columbia. You don't get no anesthesia or nothing. It's like big fat needle. It fucking hurts. It's not cool.
Yeah.
But they inject you, like I got it out of, they took it out of my spine, they spin it, they inject it in, it's probably a couple 100,000. I got 40 million injected into my shoulder, 40 million injected into one knee. And within a couple weeks, it tightens up. Dude, I got nothing. I got no PCLs. I got a dead man's MCL in one of them. My meniscus is torn and my ACL stretched out. And I got the MCL replaced, then I got stem cells for the second time. I'm running on the beach. I didn't run in my 30s, dude. My skateboard career had ruined that. Like, I could not run anymore. I could jog, but not for long periods of time. If I walk for too long at Disneyland with the kids, I'm limping. All gone. All fixed. This shoulder from jabs and separating it and dislocating it so many times started to ache for no reason. Stem cells, gone. I'm 53, dude. My son boxes now. I beat the shit out of that kid. He actually called me 2 days ago. He dropped his friend in sparring because he spars at the same place as me now. He's been getting really into it. And he called me to tell me that he dropped his friend because his friend was talking shit.
That's a proud dad moment.
And he was, like we were laughing on the phone for like half an hour. I was like, how'd it feel? He's like, pretty good. I'm like, it's pretty good. And I was like, just keep it to, like, we can brag about it to us, but don't say it in the gym. Just stay cool in the gym. He's like, gotcha.
Yeah. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was a proud moment for sure.
But yeah, I'm just like that generation before us, or
You
like
didn't have it.
my dad's generation, you know, like they just
Suck it up.
the mentality was, and I could literally, like, now I'm older and I can, you know, like I kind of look back at my dad and his life. It was like, oh no, you got kids now, your kids are growing up.
Yeah.
You just work.
Yep.
You fucking take your kids to sport. Like, dude, one thing we didn't have a lot of shit, but we had parents that took us to everything.
Yeah.
We went to fucking BMX on Tuesday. We went to football training Tuesday, BMX on Tuesday night, BMX Wednesday night, football Thursday night, BMX Friday night,
dad.
football Saturday, athletic Sunday. For fucking years, bro. You know,
Mine was completely different. I got two stepbrothers. My dad took him to all supercrosses. He ended up being number one in Victoria. And like,
really?
yeah, Lee Ellis was pro, like, motocross guy in Australia. My dad won the 50 and over because he went all around Australia with him. Never went to one. He saw me skate one time.
That's crazy.
Never took me to one thing ever.
And he was your stepdad.
No, he's my real dad.
That was your real
stepmom.
But he took the stepbrothers.
Because they had me accidentally, and my mum was 15 when she got pregnant. My dad was 19.
Yeah.
So I was mistaken. They were kids and they were still raging. And then when he left her for my stepmom, then they had two kids, and he'd grown up and he started making money, started being a good dad. And they have boundaries.
Yeah.
My little brother passed away. It was in a bad accident when he was like 24, so I was really sad. But my brother Lee is a good guy and he doesn't have what I have.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't have he's good. You could always count on him. He's had one girl.
Just didn't have the darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, that's like my son's name is Tiger Lee Ellis because I wanted him to be a settled Ellis, not a maniac Ellis, because it's dangerous being me.
Yeah.
I wanted him to just be safe. You know what I mean? Like, just be a good dude, live a normal life. Dude, this thing is like overrated, this crazy maniac thing. Like, you don't need it.
Yeah.
Because Lee is like he's an Ellis, so he's still a tough bastard, but he's just always been a pretty sound guy. You can count on Lee. He's a good dude.
There's a funny thing, like, now that you mention that, there's a funny thing where, like, I kind of had it in my life where I just didn't really want to be normal.
Yeah.
Like, I looked
Why is
at,
that?
I don't know. I looked at people that were, you know, one girl their whole life.
Yeah.
You know, like that. Oh, I'm not going to get married before I fucked a bunch of chicks and had a bunch of threesomes and You know, but then there was the guys that were just like, they just get a chick and they had the same girl the whole life. Like they whatever that was burning in my brain that like I needed to experience all
Who'd
these
you look
things.
up to?
I don't know.
Because
I don't know that I ever looked up to anybody.
I think my brother, and I don't know this for sure, but I think my brother saw the hell that his father put his mother through and was like, I don't want to do that. And I think I didn't see that. Like I grew up with, my mum wasn't really around. I mean, because I moved in with my dad because he bought me a dirt bike and I left my mum. I remember my mum, she's young, it's not her fault. She was an alcoholic. But she was like, look, how could you do this to me? And made me feel guilty about moving in with my dad. My dad had money. He bought me a Itel Jet. You ever heard of that?
Nah, what
It's
was
the
it?
first mini bike of its kind. Itel Jet.
Nah.
Yeah, it's before Pee Wee 50s.
No shit. Look at
Yeah.
that.
I get it. So it was like a mini bike with way, way back where it was like, as far as I knew, it was like, I didn't even know there was a mini bike.
Fuck, that's loose.
So I was a little kid riding when I was, yeah, the yellow one. Itel Jet, son. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I used to go hard on that shit.
No shit.
Yeah. First time I rode it, I went into the fence in the backyard.
Oh, yeah, that's
Couldn't
how
make
you got to do
couldn't
it.
make the turn.
Yeah.
But I was all about that shit. But there was my mum was I don't want to say it, partied a lot, and there was a lot of bad people around her. I saw some people like doing heroin, and people try to, like her boyfriend, man, it's not her fault. Don't feel guilty, Mum. She won't see this, but I was tired. I wanted to leave the party, and he came in the room and said, hey, man, you want something to wake you up? Just don't tell your mum. And I knew it was bad, so he offered me crystal meth when I was 10. And there was always things like that in my life. I would torture my dog, and I tried to fight a guy, and he was trying to fight me, and it was just like a bad people around,
Yeah.
And my dad had some bad people around, but they never did anything bad to me because my dad would fuck them up,
Yeah.
But I just saw a lot of womanizing. People were women were put in, not flat out, but, you're in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Like a weird old school mentality. And if you sleep with a lot of girls, you're cool.
Yeah.
So I was like, I aspired to be a drunk guy that did the biggest burnout and slept with the hottest chick.
Yeah.
That was kind of like what my goal was.
Yeah.
And my brother had a mother that was around. Like they had and she was a good person. She's still a good person. She protected them. And my brother had respect for women and was not a womanizer and wasn't interested in it. And I didn't know that. So it was super apparent. Like we were completely opposite when it came to that. We loved going fast. We loved riding dirt bikes. We were tough. The Ellis family were not to be fucked with when I was growing up. But Lee was a good guy. I was a dog. Like I had a penthouse pet as a girlfriend. Anybody who wanted to sleep with me, I'd sleep with them.
Yeah.
If we broke up, why did we break up? Because I'm a fucking piece of shit. That's why. It's just, and he never did that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't even understand. I don't know how you do it.
That's what I was like that as a
He was
young
like, I don't know how
dude.
you do what
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
And now, grown up, I'm like, dude, that's my main thing is, all those people now, everybody's got their mistakes, but it's not about that to me. I don't want an apology from anybody. I just need to apologize for what I did wrong.
Yeah.
And to all the women I've ever been with in my life, I am sorry because there's no excuse. Like I could be like, oh, well, I was this, and,
raised like
and then
this,
people
and-
raise me.
yeah.
I'm like, I'm a grown ass man now. At the end of the day, I did that. I'm taking responsibility for it. My part, I'm sorry, sincerely. Like I fucked up. I hurt a lot of people along the road. Didn't mean it, but I still did it.
Yeah.
And he didn't. Not one time, dude. Not one time. I can't remember how many times I did it.
Yeah.
Because it was too many.
Yeah.
And there's like a hefty price for that. And he's a respectable guy. He works hard. His kids love him. He's a fucking awesome dad. And they've got no scars. He didn't cause one scar to any of them.
Yeah.
I did. That's why I'm around them a lot now. Things have changed already in the year. They're already like, Dad, you're a different person.
Yeah.
But that means that other person, they know. And that fucked with them.
Yeah, and it is so much of like who you're around and like just those influences, man. Like when you're a kid, like I can look back now and be like, man, until I was 28 or 29, like I just wasn't even a fucking human.
Yeah.
You know, like your brain is so underdeveloped for such a lot, but you think it's not.
It's supposed to be fully developed by 25, but I think a lot of dudes don't reach that goal.
No, it's 28, 29, or 27, 28.
For me, it was 52.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. At least you made it, you know?
Yeah, but it's like the one thing that I've always kind of like taken a little bit of solace in is like you just don't choose your parents. You don't choose where you were born. None of that is your choice. None of that's your parents' choice. You know, they didn't choose their family. Like we have my mum's side has like a very hectic thing. Like just with that, my granddad's dad shot himself at the kitchen table in front of him. Just like sat down for supper one night, pulled out a shotgun, gone. And it's just like, fuck.
It changed your dad forever.
Yeah, my granddad saw that. And as a result, my granddad on my mum's side was not a fucking amazing person.
Right.
You know, and I didn't know I didn't know what he went through.
Yeah.
And I hated him my whole life.
Right.
Fucking hated the guy. I had to go there every single day after school because my mum worked till 5 o'clock. And you hear that and you're just like, Jesus fucking, like he didn't choose to watch his dad blow his fucking head off at the kitchen. You know, and it's like the trickle.
That's probably some of the things that you've got from that.
Yeah, the trickle down of, and then, you know, he had a daughter and he had a son, and then the shit that goes on to that. And like none of that is anyone's choice.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, if you chose to be this way, if you chose to live in that environment, if all of this was this conscious decision that you made for yourself, it would be a lot harder to deal with.
Yeah.
But I think really, like, it's not an excuse. It's not a justification. Like, you literally didn't choose any of that shit.
Yeah.
And it's like your brother didn't choose the same thing, you know?
Right, but there comes a time, and that's the difference these days. People live longer. There's more information out there.
Yes.
You can figure out what you've been doing is the wrong way to do it, and it's never too late.
Yeah.
Like, you can turn it around. You can make apologies, and you can show people by acts, not just by talking,
Yes.
that you have changed, and you can free people from your afflictions you've put on them.
Yeah.
Like, my kids have less to complain about because they've seen me turn it around. You know, even my ex, you know, like their mother, it's not going to be overnight, but
think about
she has a different opinion about me now,
yeah.
which makes her life better. I'm not
Which
saying
makes
like,
your
oh,
relationship with the
Jason's
kids
better.
better.
I feel better about everything. But
Yeah.
I guarantee you the other day after she got off the phone, she was like, I have less negative feelings in my heart about that guy, and my day is a little bit better. And more as the years go on, like,
But
he's still being a good guy.
That'll reflect on the kids,
Yeah.
and the way that she talks about you to them. You know,
It's and then the old school mentality where it's like, it's never, you know, this is what I am, you know, like it's too late now. No, that's bullshit.
yeah,
It's like you're too scared to change. You're scared of all the apologies you're going to have to make. You're scared to face the fact that you are in the wrong and that you've made mistakes. It takes a lot of gusto to do that, but I've done this my whole life. I am a mistake. I've made so many mistakes, and I've worked my way out of a lot of wrongdoings where now it's like, okay, well, now what do I have to do? And I don't think about how much work is it going to take to get there, because you do that, you're going to quit. You just have to know that here we go. I'm on a new tour.
Yeah.
It's the apology tour, you know?
Yeah,
And I need to figure out all the things I've done wrong and how can I rectify them and tell these people, whether they accept my apology or not, that sincerely I'm sorry, and what can I do to make it better for you? And that's all I can do.
Yeah.
And forgive myself, because that's probably the biggest one, because
Yeah.
now that you're aware of it
it's hard when you're a stubborn person. It's hard to let go. You know, you're like, okay, I said I'm sorry, but the fact
what
still
more do you
remains
want from
you're a
me?
fucking asshole, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you're not now, so like, don't hate yourself because you hate yourself. That projects onto people as well. You got to let it go.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think what I was trying to get at before is like it just makes it a lot easier to forgive yourself and other people when you can like genuinely know like, oh, this is just such like a chain reaction of generating, years.
Yeah.
It just makes it easier to forgive people. It makes it easy. It's like, I didn't ask for this. I didn't choose this. They didn't choose that. You know, like you, it's very easy to be like compassionate with people when you understand they were put in situations that they never really asked for. None of us asked for any of
That's
this.
why I don't need an apology from anybody anymore. You know, my mum, I love my mum, but I wish I was more around her. But there was a big gap because of the things that happened. But now, you know, every time she was here recently and she's apologized. So my stepmom, they're both sorry for all the things. And I'm like, it's okay. Like, I know it wasn't easy for you, you know? And I know you haven't put in as much work as I have. But you didn't mean it. You didn't do it maliciously. And even if you did, at the time, there was things that triggered you to do those things maliciously. Yeah. And I get it. And I don't resent you. I don't resent you for your sake, but more so, I don't resent you for my sake.
Yeah.
Because I can't hold it anymore. I'm so sick. I'm going to get you back, motherfucker, is so overrated.
Yeah.
My whole life, I'm going to get you back. Who? Because at one point, I couldn't tell you. But I'm going to get someone. I'm going to prove it to this person. Who are you talking about? And I don't know. I can't give you the answer. Mainly probably my father. But he's dead. Who are you? Like, look at me. I made it. You thought I'd amount to nothing. Who are you talking to, dude?
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Like, let it go. And I feel like once I got past that, there's such a huge weight off me. You know, like I just don't answer to anybody when it comes to that. If I make it, I make it. Am I a good person? Can you trust me? Because those are the things where I couldn't say into the mirror, yeah, you can.
And I'm sure it's just like a much easier, like weightless life that you can live when you're not dealing with that.
Yeah, dude. Like, it's one thing realizing it, but even when you don't realize it, this thing. It's like when you've got everything and you're not happy and you don't know why. That's it. That's the one where you're like, man, I got everything I ever wanted, but I don't feel happy. What is that? Like, why is there a darkness no matter what I do around me? It's like, because you haven't faced it. You haven't really stopped and thought about all the things that have happened in your life. Who's responsible for it? If they were, let it go. Forgive them. Forgive yourself for the things you had to do with any of this stuff. Let it all go. But you got to know it first. You got to like stop, get sober, analyze all the things that happened, the things you did, the things that were done to you, and then let them go. And that's like, you know, in my life, in my experience, facing the things that have happened to me, I don't want to. You know, there came a time I did MDMA therapy, and a doctor put me through this stuff where I started remembering stuff in my childhood where I was like, okay, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to know this.
Yeah.
You know, like this is making it worse. It made it worse. Like when I got out of it, I got more into drugs and alcohol. Yeah. Because I was like, wait, he did what? Like, dude, who would do that to a kid? Like, I didn't do shit. He did that. There's no coming back from that, man. But over time, I understand that things probably happened to him. And that's why he did that. And I don't resent him for it. I feel sorry for him, if anything. But it took a long time because at first the rage I felt, that was the scariest thing. To be in your 40s and feel a rage that was like dangerous, where I was like, I'm gonna hurt myself or somebody. And I thought I'd been past this. You know, this is like a teenage feeling where you're like, I'll fucking kill somebody. I feel real anger. You cut me off, you're fucking the wrong guy over. Like, I will explode. And then working on it, coming to terms with it, and then getting sober and really sitting in it. Like, I spent some days, dude, where I was like, I'm feeling my brain cracking Like I'm gonna go crazy, and I'm not gonna be able to pull myself back into a reality. Like I'm gonna snap, you know? Like 'cause it's too much. Nobody should do that to a kid, you know? And it's not right, and I can't justify it. Somebody's got to pay for it. But then it was like, I love my kids, man. I love my life. And every day I walk around being a victim is another day that I've lost. And I just can't do it to myself and others ever again. Like, just sit with it, face it. It's like I don't know who said it, but it's like going into the dark, like going into a cave. The darker you go, the deeper you go, the darker it gets, to the point where you can't see your hand in front of your face. It's scary. You get scared. You want to come back out so you can see some light again. To me, that's my life. I go into the dark. I get really scared. If I smoke some weed or I drink or I have sex, pulls me out a little bit and I see the light again.
Yeah.
But if you go right down to the bottom, face it, sit in there until your eyes adjust and you start to see things around you in the dark, it's not as scary as you thought. And that to me is kind of where I'm at, where I'm like, yeah, man, a lot of bad things happen. A lot of stuff that I don't care to mention ever. I'm not putting in the book or anything. It's done. It happened. I'm okay. I'm better for it, you know, because those are the things that gave me this will, you know, like this power that I have where I don't back down from stuff. I have a lot of energy at my age. I have a lot of will to do good things. Like now that it's steered, it's not about doing a kickflip Indy 540. It's about what can I do to make the world better? You know, I know I'm not, you know, I'm not like change the world. You know, I mean, I'm not fucking some asshole, but like I can do a little bit for the people around me.
There is a huge
And
butterfly effect.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, like it's a massive butterfly
It doesn't even matter.
effect.
That's the other thing, the scale, grandeur. Like
Yeah.
one person, dude, I could help one person. For sure, I know that. One person could hear me talk about how I got out of this or how I got out of that, and that one person could turn their life around. That I believe that I've at least helped one person, and maybe down the road I could help one other person. Is that worth being here and sticking to what I'm doing? Fuck yeah, it is. Like, it's not like how many. I'm like, you know, Joe Rogan helps a lot more people than I'll ever help. And it's not about that. It's not a contest. It's just, can I help one person? If I keep going down this road, like more importantly, can I help my son or my daughter if I keep going down this road? And that answer is clearly yes. So there's just, that's it. It's so easy, you know, because it's like one person, because I know what it's like to be stuck. You know, I know what it's like to feel all alone and think you're the only person that's like this. And if you ever let anybody know this is what you are, you'll be disowned from everything. Yeah. I've felt that. I know that feeling. It's fucking terrifying, dude. And if I can get one person to come out where I am, that's like, if I was Jewish, that's a mitzvah.
Yeah. And no, it's a fucking cool thing, man. And it's I think that there's, like I said, you know, like you just have these people that have just lived on such a crazy extreme. It's like you can just, it's like unrelatably relatable in a way. You know what I mean? It's like maybe someone's hasn't gone through like as bad of a thing, but it's like the feeling's the same. And the worst thing that's ever happened to you is the worst thing that's ever happened to you. Yeah. You know, someone was in a fucking car accident and, you know, like their fucking dog now doesn't like being in cars and it's like an issue for them. That's the worst thing that's ever happened to them. It's like, it's still a fucking bad thing. You're going to feel the same human emotions. You're going to go through the same thing. But it's like when you can hear it from someone that's had like this super extreme kind of experiences, it's like it kind of resonates.
There's a lot of people on this planet, man. A lot of bad has happened. You know, when my brother died and my dad died the same year or pretty close, I talked about it on the radio. And I remember when when both of them had died and I was at the second funeral in the same place, I was like, could anybody have a worse life? Mm-hmm. And then I talked about it on the radio and people messaged me with way worse stories than mine. Yeah. And I was like, the answer is yes, you dickhead. Way worse. And they go to work And guess what their job is? It ain't fucking getting paid millions of dollars to talk on the radio, dude. It's like a supermarket.
Yeah.
And you're bitching about your life. Like, get the fuck up. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Those things helped me because I was like, people feel like they're alone and they're the only one. We're all going through it, you know? And it's like, but if one person goes through something, they say that they can make it. Not only can they make it, they can thrive from it. This is the hardest thing to admit. It was good for me. It gave me something that a lot of people don't have. You can't break me. I mean, I'm sure you can, but I'm pretty hard to crack. You know what I mean? I got a lot of drive. If I point myself at something, I'm going to get it done. And I have all that childhood drama to thank because that's the engine.
Yeah.
It's
well,
like,
that's fucking so real too, man. Like there's such a juxtaposition between the people that have this like mellow, cruisy life, you know, they had it pretty easy. That was a cool kid in school. Like a lot of times those people don't do that much. A lot of people, and you'd know this from the circles that you've been, like a Marilyn Manson or fucking, like there's a lot of people that they just have these like fucked up lives and fucked up, and it just pushes them towards a thing. And it's like, damn, that kind of sucks that you like have to go through all that. Some people don't. Some people kind of can cruise through and it's like life's kind of like all right for them. But a lot of times it's just like such a huge motivating factor.
dude, getting out of the like real darkness and seeing real light. I don't know what it's like to live in an okay life and then see the light. But to me, like the sun and on like through clouds, and knowing that I have a day to do what I want to do in this country. Like I cry a lot. I used to cry a lot because I'm sad. I cry a lot now with a smile on my face. Like I have like this energy that I feel where I'm crying.
It's like gratitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a fucking miracle is happening, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, you know what this is? This is like, you're a dark kid that is on top now and just happy to be alive. I don't need I don't need everybody to love me. I just have a day. I'm not sick. I know what that's like too. I've been in a hospital bed. I'm not in hospital right now. I have a whole day ahead of me. My kids love me. I got a great job. I could go get a sandwich. I got a girlfriend. She loves me. Like, come on, man. Like, can you get much luckier? I wake up in the morning, I see the sun on a flare, and I'm like, dude, old you be like, that's gay. But I'm like, let me take that in, and it will make me cry tears of joy. I've never been gayer. but I love it. You know,
Wasn't
like
this gay when I was sucking dick, goddammit.
I didn't want to say that because you're gonna snip it into something. But yeah,
we won't snip it.
I've never been gayer in my life, and I don't do.
Oh, that's
that
fucking
stuff.
awesome. Dude, you must have a lot of comedy material.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to change. I have a lot of comedy about that stuff because it was, you know, it's a shocking thing.
It is fucking funny, though.
Because people go, you don't look like that. And I'm like, yeah, what does that look like?
Yeah.
Like, if
A lot
I
of
look
truckers
like
suck
this,
dick in
am I,
toilets,
I'm
like-
just, dude, I got a lot of trans friends, and a lot of the people that they sleep with are straight guys.
Very straight
And I'm
dudes,
like,
yeah.
none of them want to admit it. And I get it. I did a set last night where it was like at a restaurant and nobody was listening, so I just started talking about it. And one black guy was like, "No, you ain't saying that around here." And I'm like, "I am saying that around here. The fuck are you gonna do about it?" You know, because it's like, what do you say? You're saying that I can't say that? Should I leave because I have done these things? Like, who gives you the right to say
Yeah.
that to somebody?
Yeah.
Like, if somebody's gay, they're gay. Like, free, like, that's your life. Let them love who they want to love.
Yeah.
Some people do it because they're addicted to stuff. That's like, I did that
That's
too.
fine too.
But that's not a crime.
Yeah.
You know, like I never preyed on anybody. It was like a mutual thing. So get off me.
I wonder though, like if the world's gonna go in that direction. Like I really think.
What direction?
I just think the whole, like what we're seeing now with like the gender thing and the trans thing and the like, I just feel like in 50 years, it's just not going to be that weird. Honestly.
Look, dude,
I'm not
here's
against
the deal.
it.
Here's the deal, dude. I've been a libtard. I'm born a Republican. Like if I think about my life, I love family. I respect my family. You know, I love motor. I love guns. I know a lot of trans people. I've been friends with trans people that have gone through the transition as I've been their friend. It ain't for you, dude. They're not doing it so that they can get attention. Has there been somebody that's done that? Sure. Has there been a male athlete that is transitioned?
Yep.
Maybe.
To game the system, for sure.
Sure.
For sure.
I don't think they've won. You know what I mean? There was a Fallon Fox that was an MMA fighter. Everyone was like, she's cheating. There's a female fighter that beat the living crap out of her, and she's not even the top 10 in the UFC.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you're talking about. It's just more like, if you want to be a woman or you want to be a man, I know a girl that transitioned to a man. All he wants in his life is to go to the bathroom, in the men's bathroom, and be allowed to go there and not point it out.
Stand up.
He
and
ain't
piss.
looking to look at anybody. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that thing.
Yeah.
And I want him to be called him, and I want him to live his life like that.
Yeah.
I don't see the harm in it. The other way around, where I feel like, the politics, social media, where it's like, I don't want some dude looking at my daughter. And I'm like, dude, it's not about that. Like, if somebody is fully transitioned and is a girl and they're in the girl's bathroom, they ain't looking at your daughter, dude.
Yeah,
like, they're a fucking girl.
Yeah.
They're not into that. And if it's a guy in a dress that's doing that, guess what? There's dudes that are just dudes that are doing it way more than some girl in a dress. I'll kill him myself. You don't have to worry about it. I'll do it for you. And I'll sleep good at night. Like, I'm that guy. You fuck with kids, I will end you. I have no problem with that. I've got issues with that. I can admit it, and I'm okay with it. But the thing that we rile each other up, because it's the same with, like, a lot of my friends, I said this the other day on Twitter, and people freaked out about it. I have trans friends going, really? At me, because I was like, a lot of my friends are Republicans. I have a lot in common with them. A lot of my comedian friends are Republicans, fighter friends, my tattoo friends, like skateboarders, all these people. But at the end of the day, I'm not. I think we all kind of love each other. We all have a lot in common, but the social media thing, the extremes are the loudest. And we get triggered by it. Remember, I'm like, Trump's a racist. And I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know that dude.
Trump?
When there's Nazis that are supporting him, I don't know. I just know that I know a lot of people that are Republicans that aren't racist. And I know they love their family.
Yep.
And I also know a lot of trans people that don't, cross-dressers that don't want to molest your children.
Yeah.
They would read a book, and there's no need to react at that. I just think we get pushed this thing that riles us up, and I know why. It's pretty obvious, so that you don't take, so you don't understand what the real issues are. It's like lower class, middle class pay more, and rich people don't pay.
Yeah.
That's my only thing. Like, if you got the richest person in America that says we should vote for Trump, I don't think we should vote for Trump because he's the richest guy in the world. Why? Why does he care that much? Is he going to get richer if it's the other guy? Because we're not him, right? If I'm for the little guy, because I'm always going to be a little guy. And as far as I can tell, we're all little guys in the grand scheme.
There's levels. Yeah.
So I just don't care about that stuff. I can't bring myself to care because I know that BJ Baldwin, he took a photo with the kid that shot the kid. What's that? I forgot his name. Some kid that shot people at the Black Lives Matter riot.
I missed it.
Anyway, and I was like, why would you hang out with that dude?
Yeah.
Because Carl Rittenhouse.
Yeah,
I was like,
yep.
I was like, dude, I can't deal with you if you're going to hang out with that guy. But BJ's a good guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's a friend of mine, and I don't know what his thing is, but I know that he's a good guy.
Well,
and I just can't get triggered by it anymore. I just know, are you a good guy? Like, if we're, this is the stupidest shit ever, but if we're in an alley and someone's going to jump me, you got my back?
Yeah, I'd have a crack.
Because that's my friend.
Yeah, I'd have a crack.
I know, I'm from the streets. Yeah. I'm not even really from the streets, but that's how I read it. I'm like, well, I might be a libtard, I might be a Republican. If you're my friend and somebody's unjustifiably going to jump you, I'll get knocked out with you because I'm your friend. I got your back. Anybody touches your woman or your kids, call me. I'll got you back.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of us are like that.
Well, the thing is too, like this is
And
what
that's more important.
what I operate on is like I love my mum.
Most of us do.
Lovely lady. Doesn't
Yeah.
agree with all the things I say.
Yeah. Oh,
Doesn't
here we
agree
go.
with all the things I do.
Yeah.
Still loves me.
Yeah.
I still love her.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
agree with all the things she says. Don't agree with all the things she does.
Yeah.
Still love her. She's amazing. All my friends are the same. I don't agree with my wife 100%.
Right.
Still love her. You know,
just think
so
we
it's
get-
like we just have this strange expectation,
Well, it's because-
especially when it comes to politics.
Because they say stuff that triggers us. Like they tell me, the TikTok and the Instagram tells me that if Trump is president, gay people will have no rights
Yeah.
and females will not have rights over their reproductive
Yeah.
system. I'm not for that. I think that females should have a choice, and I think that gay people should be allowed to get married.
I'm with you.
I think everybody is.
Yeah.
I think
I
there's just
also
this
think-
thing that they tell you
Yeah.
to get you riled up.
Yeah.
You know, and I
Well, the problem is, right, is that you can't have that opinion. So I'm with you 100%. Gay dudes should get married. And what was the other one?
female anatomy, they should be in charge of it.
100%. Let's go. Also, shut the fucking border.
Yeah.
Like, so that's two.
I'm an immigrant.
Me too.
Guess how I got in?
Yeah.
Legally.
Yes.
I had to go through a lot of fucking shit to get here,
100%.
and I think everybody else should.
Yes.
It's the greatest country on earth.
So, but
If
then.
you want to be a motocross rider, a fighter, a comedian, or a bloody
Podcaster.
movie star, podcaster.
So, but what do I do then? So now I'm a guy that believes a liberal thing and a Republican thing. What
Yeah.
what do I do?
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Is
Well,
that
they
you
want
can't
to. They
be,
want to roll you up.
Yeah, but you can't be one or the other. You can't have. That's the thing.
Bullshit. Because here we are.
Yeah, but that's the thing that I've noticed since 2010 to now.
Yeah.
You used to be able to have two viewpoints.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you fucking can't. You're riding this bus the whole. You got to ride this bus the whole way, and the left side's the worst for this. Like, if you can't be gay enough, you can't be trans enough. You can't be. It's not okay that just to not be racist. You have to be actively not racist. You know what I mean? So
You know
it's
what's
like
crazy?
it just goes.
Old
so,
me would have disagreed with you so hard, but what I've noticed lately, and this is going to tweak some people, my Republican friends, through the things that I've said in the last 10 years, are still my friends.
Yeah.
My liberal friends, what I'm saying right now, will not be my friends.
Yeah, they went so deep.
And
it's
they
crazy.
which tells me that a lot of them were never my friends.
Yeah.
Because I got a lot of I've stood up for trans rights too much. I've got myself in career jeopardy from it. And when I tweeted that stuff the other day about, I think a lot of the people that I have a lot more in common with are Trump supporters. Like, that person is no longer my friend. And I almost reached out to them and I was like, when was the last time you called me? Like, I've had a couple
Are
of
we
birthdays.
friends? Yeah.
Yeah, are we? Because you know what the real answer is? Since I left OnlyFans and doing that stuff that could help you out,
We're not friends.
you don't give a shit about me.
Yeah.
The only time you ever gave a shit about me, here's the real deal, is I'm kind of famous, and if I do some stuff with you on OnlyFans, it might make you a little bit of money.
Yeah.
That's what it really is.
Yeah.
And the other people that weren't going to get anything off me, they've just always been there. Like BJ Baldwin, I'm bringing him up because I have dodged him in the last couple of years, because I'm like, man, really? Why are you tooting that horn so hard? Like, I'm scared. Are you a racist?
Yeah.
Like, I've thought that because I've been caught in this media bullshit where I'm like, man, I think that guy might actually be racist.
Yeah.
I am not following him anymore on social media.
Yeah.
If I see him tomorrow, he'd be like, Jace, how are you?
Yeah.
If I needed, like, hey, man, can I stay at your house?
Yeah.
He'd say yes, dude.
Yeah.
And that's
Well,
my fault for
Yeah.
being pulled into this shit.
Yeah. And the thing is too, and this is like an uncomfortable truth that I don't think a lot of people are prepared to like actually sit with. Even people that you think are like fucking evil kind of think they're right. So like I had a friend, I'm not even going to say he was a friend. So when I was a kid, left school, fucking just a labourer job, was going to have a t-shirt company. That's what like everyone in Australia did when they were fucking 20 in 2004
Sounds like
or
a
whatever.
great career.
So I had a t-shirt brand. So this guy that I raced motocross with had a screen printing company. So I used to get this guy to print my t-shirts, right?
Yeah.
And I had no money. So I'd be like, hey, like, can I get it a little bit cheaper? Like, I'll come and like put them through the dryer for you. I'll do all the folding. I'll do all the boxing. Like, I just want to pay you for just the screen printing.
Yeah.
So anyway, he was my age, dude. I was 17, 18. He was the same fucking age, right? And so I'm there and I'm like kind of there a bunch doing this fucking t-shirt thing. And after a couple of days, you just like, I start noticing like little Nazi flags and like little like white supremacist shit.
Yeah.
And then I'd go to the bathroom in the house, which I never did. And there's like full white supremacist shit going on. And then he starts, and I grew up in black Australia, like, you know, right? So I was the only white kid on my football team. All my football coaches, when I played footy, were all black, like black school, fucking everything, right? So to me, that was just never a thing. Like, there was I had a problem with fucking black kids that would kick the fuck out of me for no reason. So, like, that was a problem, but I didn't have a problem with black people, right? So I grew up in that landscape, and then I'm at this guy's house, and it's like, becomes blatantly obvious that he's just like a full white supremacist. And then so he just sort of starts like talking about it. And then I guess he must have got the vibe, you know, that like I'd kind of noticed. And he's like, man, it probably like looks bad, all this stuff around the house, and you know, but like I'm not really racist, like, but I definitely think that there's a problem with like interbreeding with like other cultures. Like, there's gonna be no white people soon. And I'm like, I get it.
Wait, you do?
But like I get him. Right?
Okay.
So like it was like he had like a bad idea virus in his brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like, who gives a fuck if there's white people, like pure white, like who gives a?
Yeah, because you and I are not pure white.
No, I don't.
We're all right.
I don't give a fuck. Like, but so he's
Chad Reed's half Aboriginal. He's the greatest Australian that ever lived.
100%. So it's like he thought he was not racist.
Yeah.
And he thought that he was like, it was a noble thing.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm only like, we just go, we try and spread education that like white people we need to stay white to like keep our thing.
Jewish people say that.
So it's like, so what I'm saying
Like your mum will
is,
say, don't marry somebody who isn't Jewish.
yeah.
That's racist.
So that's a thing where it's like, from the outside looking in, you'd be like, that guy's just a fucking piece of shit. But it's like, it was a good guy with a bad idea.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So your friend Carwin might he might be a good guy with a bad idea.
Yeah.
And like, so if you extrapolate that all the way to like our friend Mr. Adolf, maybe the same fucking thing where there's this idea virus, like this thing has infested his brain and it's the wrong idea. Jewish people don't need to die. Jewish people aren't the fucking enemy. We don't need this white race of Orion with like...
Hitler was a bad one that you brought up.
Yes. So it's like... but
he killed people.
Yeah, but in his mind...
Your buddy that made your T-shirts, did he kill anybody?
No, but what I'm saying is like if you go to the end and just like this idea that like he probably doesn't think he's evil or wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, for sure he doesn't. Yeah.
So it's like these good people can do bad things and not think that they're these.
It's
like,
funny how
bad,
you brought
evil
up
people.
that where you grew up made you realize that we're all the same. It's kind of like if you have somebody that's against gay people and then they have a gay child.
Yeah.
And then they realize
Yeah.
that, oh, well, now that I actually know one, it's changed my opinion on it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're all a little sheltered, or we all get delivered the worst side of it, but we've never really hung out with them. Like, I've had trans friends that were bullied and ridiculed at school, and then they finally transitioned, and the things that they face through their day-to-day life. And now that, like, I have one friend who's like, she supports her sisters got into drugs or something, and now she has their kids. She's their mother. She takes care of her mother as well. So she has like a whole family that she supports by herself, and has had the worst childhood ever. She's a great person. You can count on her. She's awesome. Does she deserve equal rights. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
But you see these things that get pulled into the argument
But
that makes you angry and
Yes.
lash out at people that don't
because
deserve it.
I'm fucking so fine with all of it.
Yeah.
Right? I don't give a fuck. But I'm one of the people that gets angry about the schools and you know what I mean? So like
What about the school?
So there's like a law where if your kid in California, if your kid says your kid has to give the teachers permission to tell them what gender the kid is. Yeah. So it's like, I'm not cool with that. Yeah. I'm cool with fucking trans people all day long. I'm fine with gay. Everyone should have the same rights. I actually had a discussion
with somebody about that the other day because I only just found that out. And he was like, well, what if the parents are going to react in a negative way? And I was like, right, I see that argument, but I also see...
But at 6, a kid doesn't know.
That's their kid.
Yes.
And they should know. And it's like there's a lot of bad parents out there, but you got to give them a chance. It's their parents.
Yep.
You know, like, so I also feel like when the government is making these decisions, it's the same as the abortion thing. Like, why are you deciding?
Yeah.
Like, that's their uterus. It's not
Well, the
yours.
other thing too, right, is when you're... The problem I have with the abortion thing specifically, right, it affects poor people. Like, really affects, it affects
because
minorities.
They can't get one, you're saying?
Well, so let's say you're a wealthy Republican.
Yeah.
And your daughter is 16. And let's say you're in Alabama. Fuck, I don't know whether that's a state. Whatever. I don't know enough about it. Let's say you're a wealthy, affluent Republican. Your daughter hooks up with a guy. She gets pregnant, first time she ever has sex, but you're in a state that abortion's illegal. What do? You fucking fly to California because you can.
Right.
And you go there, you get the proper treatment. It's safe. It's fine. Then you've got money to put your daughter through therapy.
Yeah.
The people that it fucks over aren't the people that are at the top. They're not wealthy. It's the girl that gets molested in a poor black community.
Those are the ones that scare me the most. Like, you made a law where if you get molested or raped, that you have to keep the baby.
That's what I'm saying.
Are you fucking serious, dude? Like, who wrote that down? What is the person right now that's like, well, Jason, you see, the thing is there, is it? No.
It's not. That's not a human. Yeah, it's not human.
I can't.
Yeah.
I really can't.
And if it happened to fucking Trump's 16-year-old daughter, what would happen?
Or
if she got raped?
Yeah.
And if what would they do? They would go to a place where you can get it done. So the problem is that law, it just fucks a certain type of people that we should be protecting at any cost because they're the poorest, they're already marginalized. Like, that's a group of people we should be looking after.
This is the thing. This is the good thing about me experiencing other sides and wearing other shoes. Can't you put those on for a second?
Yeah.
Could you just imagine
that
you got a daughter?
Out of your mouth. Yeah.
Could you just imagine that you were gay or trans or black? You know, like, can you just try to be in their shoes? Also, can you try to be, you know, like these other white guys, like they're doing their thing. Like, if you want to have a gun, like you grew up with guns, like there's people that just like nope, and I'm like, can you try to understand everybody's side of things? It just and like you get fired up about it. That's just not how anything gets solved.
Yeah.
Like, how can we like really solve it? And I think like the media, I hate to say it, but it's like they are triggering us. Dude. And they're also not doing it maliciously. They're doing it because you watch it if you do it.
Yeah.
You know, there's podcasts out there that talk shit on porn stars. And they go, you're a dumb bitch, and you got OnlyFans. She goes, I'm not a dumb bitch, you're a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And we go, I'm again. It doesn't matter which one you're for. You keep watching it.
You're just watching it.
There's street fights on YouTube. Twitter's got people getting knocked out at McDonald's. I'm like, ooh, who's gonna win? And I'm the problem.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to go, no, but my finger goes, ooh, and I'm responsible. It's the same as a supermarket. You buy shit food, you go to McDonald's. They keep serving you McDonald's. Why? Because you keep going. You know, if you don't eat healthy, and they're like, hey, man, these guys are eating Taco Bell. We're going to keep giving Taco Bell.
It's a free market economy, and the free market wins.
And that's the thing you don't get. There's no
information that you can count on.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's in the pocket for somebody. I hate Skechers shoes, dude. Here's the thing that I've got jokes about it. It freaks me out. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, no one would buy
Have
this.
some respect. Just
Seriously.
have some respect.
And then
for
I
yourself.
saw a store with Skechers written on it, and I was like, so people bought them. You're shitting me. Why would you buy the worst shoe ever invented? Everybody bought it. So who am I to shit on Skechers? But I think that it's a terrible idea, and if you buy them, there's something wrong with you. But if there's millions of people that buy it, then who am I?
Yeah.
It's the same thing where I'm like, everybody wake up. There's so many other options. They don't even. Did you know they're not cheap?
Yeah, they're
I
expensive.
just realized this. Holy shit. I had an argument with somebody at the stand-up gig the
People
other
pay
day.
full price.
He's like, they're high-end Skechers. I'm like, that sentence makes no sense. It can't be high-end and Skechers. That's not, no. It doesn't work like that. It's shit at end of the barrel, worst shoe ever. But people like it. And it's the same with the food thing. The supermarket, you go to the supermarket, I eat grass-fed because grass-fed makes me look like I'm on steroids. That is the fucking facts of it. If I eat clean, my 53-year-old body is fitter than it was when it was 38. Get the fuck out of here. If I just eat the stuff that they tell me to eat because it's the cheapest and I've got no money and that's what I have to eat because I don't have the option to go to dickhead Whole Foods, which I go to because I'm a dickhead. At TikTok before I could afford to go there, but right now I can. But also, I go there and I don't buy clothes because I can't afford clothes. Because I go to Whole Foods and get ridiculously
good
priced
food.
fucking grass-fed beef.
Yeah.
But nobody knows that. Like when people ask me, like, what is an animal-based diet? And I go, really? And then I show the things that you can get on the diet and they go, oh, that doesn't seem that difficult. It's not. Sweet potatoes are not that expensive and they're very nutritious.
That's a fucking life hack right there, sweet potatoes.
And
Sweet potato, avocado, broccoli, fucking, and then meat.
It's just,
Good.
it's crazy how people don't know it. Or, oh, I've got to cook it. I'm like, yes, to be a really good comedian or a book writer, author, or accountant, you need to work very hard at it, diligently at it, to be at the top level at it. If you want to be top level healthy, and also when you're healthy, you get better sleep, your mind works better, you're smarter, you're quicker to catch
When you
scams.
don't drink,
All
your
these
sleep
things,
is
and there's
crazy.
commercials. Get a Taco Bell, get a beer, get a cheese, get a candy. It's like get your hey kids, get a candy, and then when you get older, you can get a beer and you can get a vape pen. Like it's just all a scam. Everyone's getting, and then this is Kim Kardashian, bullshit liar. Like she wore Skechers, said her butt got bigger from it.
Was that real?
Yeah.
No.
I will never forget that commercial. She said there's a shoe with the round bit on the back that helps your butt get bigger. Liar. That's an implant. That shoe doesn't. You know what gets your butt bigger? Squats.
Yeah.
That's how that works. There's no shoe that does squats for you. You have to do the squat. That's kind of how it works.
You can wear shoes and do squats.
Yeah, if you want to wear those ones, you can. But if you're not squatting, it ain't going to make your butt bigger. It's just this weird thing that we all get tied into. And because we're working, we're broke. We're trying to survive. Everything costs more than we get paid to do. How do I have time to get all this information when if I just go on my phone's like, you know what you should do? It's just get Taco Bell and watch Kim Kardashian and then have a beer after
Just
work.
Uber Eats. It's 20% off right
You
now.
just
These
you
deliveries
just
are
get
good.
dumber, more tired,
More angry.
More angry. I was going to say the same thing. Bitter. And all the people that are, and that's the other thing. I know famous people, everybody. They're lying. They ain't that happy. I know them.
Yeah.
I've hung out with them. A lot of them are sadder than you.
Yeah.
They just go on and go, man, today, let me tell you. And I'm like, and then they put it down and go, fuck.
Yeah. Dude, I got a friend. He's like one of my one of my metrics, right? I talk about him all the time. People are probably sick of the story, but I fucking look up to this dude so much. He is a jiu-jitsu black belt with his own academy, with 2 kids.
Yeah.
Loves his wife.
Fuck yeah.
Got the car he wants, and he fucking just does his thing.
Yeah.
He just kills it. Normal as fuck. Probably 600 Instagram followers.
Just he worked real hard to get there.
Just lives, bro. And I've known him, I think he was a purple belt when I met him. Before he started jiu-jitsu, he was fat, smoked ciggies, and fucking partied on the Gold Coast, right?
Yeah.
started jiu-jitsu, sucked at it, didn't win a comp till he was a purple belt.
Yeah.
And then he the whole time I knew him, he was working at a fucking grocery store, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's like, I don't want to get a real job because then I will, when I get my black belt, it's going to be hard to fucking give up the real job and give up all that. He's like, I want to be a black belt. I want to have an academy. I want to own my own. He owns it with the guy who gave him his black belt. It's like normal.
Yeah.
Normal, but high achieving.
Yeah.
Not high achieving and he makes millions of dollars. Not high achieving and he's famous. Not high achieving in any of that fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
High achieving in he set goals for himself and he achieves his goals. He's consistent. Like he's fucking stopped smoking weed. Like, dude, biggest stoner when I met him.
Yeah.
Fucking doesn't smoke weed at all. Trains in the gym 5 a.m. Like, I look up to that dude more than anyone. Normal.
He inspired you.
Bro, crazy. You know?
And then look at you. You inspire people too, man.
Tried
Steve Caballero told me he was nervous to be on your show. You should be.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah, you should be very thrilled.
But to be fair, not because of me, because of other people that went on there before him.
No, don't do that. Don't do
I'm
that.
doing what your thing.
And I'm doing the thing back at you. No, because it's your show. You made it.
No, I appreciate that.
Yeah, you should. He's not nervous if he's on my show. He won't come on my show. He probably would now, though, I just realized.
He should.
I got a different attitude. I'd ask him different questions.
Yeah. Dude, I fucking love this. We burn 3 hours pretty easily.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You are
It's
welcome
stoked to be on it, man. I didn't talk enough about Red Bull Rampage. Those guys, Brandon,
Bro,
you're the fucking best, dude. You're the best. Congratulations on your win.
How did you and so
He DM'd me.
yeah, all right. So when I fucking I get to Rampage,
Yeah.
and I see, I'm like, why the fuck is Jason Ellis hanging out with Brandon Semenuk?
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? What do you want me to do? I called him. I was like, what exactly do you want me to do? He's like, just hang out. Use my Instagram. I'm like, and do what? He's like, just film, hang out. Like, hang out with the boys. And I was like, are you sure? Like, I don't know if I'm any good. I don't know what you're doing. He's like, that'll be fun. And I remember thinking, nah, it won't be. But if you pay me, I'll go. And then I go and I'm like, wow, this dude's like a really good dude.
He is.
All those people are really good people.
Yeah.
Man, you guys are fucking crazy. This sport is awesome. I'm coming. I want to go. I want to be a part. I want to like announce for Red Bull. I want to be in. I want to be in that thing and making jokes and having fun with those guys because those guys are like the best inspiring attitudes. I fucking am a fan. That took like an hour, and I was like, I love this game.
Yeah,
my chick too. We were like, wow, this is the best.
She was in it. She was just climbing up the fucking, climbing up the hill.
Mountain goat. Yeah, she's ridiculous.
Bro, the competition was insane.
I know. I'm pissed.
Did you watch any of the
on the
live stream and
intranets?
shit? Yeah. Dude, we were.
It's funny how I didn't. Brandon is so mellow. I'm like, wait, is he the best guy?
Yeah.
Because he just acts like, I'm going to go, I'm going to ride. I'm like, dude, you're like a freak. You're like the best dude.
He's a fucking alien, bro.
Yeah.
He's Tony Hawk.
And he's kind of like Tony because Tony's just like, meh. But yeah, what a champ.
Yeah. And so he goes through, crashes the first run and crashed on a trick that he was doing in practice.
Yeah.
Fine, right? Then Cam Zink has his crash, which is like, that kind of just takes the wind out of everyone's sails, right? And so he's on the ground. Everyone's like, fuck this, I'm done. There was like 6 guys that were going to go back up for a second run.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Brandon and 2 other dudes went up. One guy went before Brandon, and then Brandon dropped the run that was enough to win, and then no one else wanted to go. And he was the guy. And it was... You know how they were tripping on wind, like when we were up on the hill?
Yeah.
It wasn't even windy. Bro, it was blowing its ass out. And he just fucking did it.
He's such a charger.
It was crazy, dude.
It
And
really-
like, he gets down the bottom of the hill. There's no one there. Like, I was there, and I'm like, fuck. Do I run out and give him a hug?
Yeah.
Or I'm like, I just don't even know if he'd fuck with that.
I know, right? He seems like, hey, man, calm down. It's
He'd be
just
like,
a ride.
just fucking chill, bro.
Yeah, right.
So I was kind of like, oh, this is pretty awesome. Like, I was really happy for him.
Yeah.
You know? And then the boys ended up coming down. They won the Digger Award. 'Cause
Yeah.
There's like a Digger Award that they give out. But man, just the coolest fucking guy. And at the end of it, like, gave each other a hug. And I was like, bro, I'm fucking stoked for you. He's like, man, Just glad I got down the hill, eh? Like, I just fucking would have been so pissed to leave here and like not actually like do the run that he wanted to do.
Man, talk about doing it for the right reasons.
Yep, exactly.
That's a guy right there. That's a good human being. So are all his buddies too, man. I love those guys. I could just tell instantly. I was like, man, these are some solid dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that sport, like, and I'm around moto a lot, which is, you know, the guys making fucking millions of dollars, and it's like they fly to the same track around, well, not the same, but they fly to the, you know, different city, same shit, same group of people, fucking agents. You're awesome. You're the man. Fuck that guy. Those guys are losers. Like, it's that scene, you know, and it's like, it's so refreshing to go around guys that, like, bro, Roan's fucking, I'm riding a 50, like a fucking 110, that little e-bike that I had.
I love those
And the
bikes.
guys are like putting their lights on the Can-Ams, and I'm like riding in front of the Can-Ams, and Roans is jumping in the back of whoever the fuck to get back to the thing. It's just the vibe is so chill with those guys, and they're just laying it all on the line.
I know. It's funny to see people so high level be so non-egotistical.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not rock and roll, but it is the ultimate rock and roll.
Yeah, dude.
Because they're doing it for the love, you know what I mean? That's what I could feel, that this was like, this is a core thing. I'm happy Red Bull's bringing it to the masses, and I hope everybody that watches it enjoys it, but you can't take what they've got. Yeah. You know? It's a sick thing.
We saw the real event.
Yeah.
You know, like when you go there early and you watch the build and you're on the hill when they're all together.
That's the bit that...
That's the fucking real shit.
That landing pad shit, I was like, you're gonna what? And then and I'm like, what? And then watching those dudes build that pad, where I was like, dude, with a shovel, you built that thing? It looks like so pro, you know? And I'm like, and I saw what it was before you. That's so much dirt. You guys were so diesel. I was sore from standing there.
Bro, I'm pretty sure like fucking diggers have died and shit from like, am I talking out my ass? Did someone say that the other day? Talking about my ass. But people like get really fucking, have got hurt from just like being on the hill.
I totally believe that. Dude, being on that thing is sketchy. Shit falls off while you're walking on it.
Yeah, it was fucking.
I stepped down a couple of times and like skidded like 6 feet down the hill. Not to mention, someone's like, look out, there's some giant boulders come flying by. And I'm like, what the fuck, you guys? And they're like, I could tell that was like a normal thing.
Just mellow, yeah. Yeah, so that was fucking cool. Would you go next year?
Fuck yeah.
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 I want to do a few things different next year. I just want to take my own like big bike. I want to ride a bit more because, bro, the trails riding in there was so much fun.
Can you get? Is that legal? Sorry for asking that.
No, yeah.
But yeah.
But I just want to go and ride more. Like just do a lot of riding around that area. Yeah. We played a bunch of golf too. That was fucking rad. Beautiful golf courses. Played Sand Hollow. I'd like to just go for longer.
Yeah, I wanted to go for. It's weird. I wanted to stay, but my girlfriend had organized something for my birthday and didn't want to tell me what it was. But she got.
What'd you end up doing?
She got me laps at that speedway in Vegas. I got to do laps in Lamborghini, dude.
Oh, how was it?
It's my favorite car. It's like sick.
That's sick.
Yeah,
I've never done that.
Yeah, me neither.
It was cool.
Fuck yeah. Pinning a Lambo, are you serious? I was just pissed. It was like 6 laps and I was like, I'm just getting into it.
Yeah.
Starting to like understand the track. He's like, okay. And I'm like, fuck, I could do like 12 more, probably maybe 20 actually. Yeah. But that was awesome.
I'd be pretty up for that shit.
Yeah. So that was worth it. But yeah, I was like just starting to like, I think my body got used to it too. I was less sore the third day.
Oh, the Rampage?
Yeah, the second day I was like, oh, man. Yesterday was tough.
It was fucking gnarly.
We walked.
It was hot as fuck.
I know, but those dudes shoveled. Yeah. Like we were just like, that's the other thing. You can't pick up a shovel.
No, you can't help. No.
I was like, man. I mean, I don't want to, but also I kind of did because it's weird to watch guys work that hard and stand there.
Yeah, we literally just stand and watch Brandon build a fucking huge rock wall.
And walk his bike up there. I'm like, dude, I'm sore from just walking me up there. Yeah. I don't know how you do that.
Well, it was a fucking good time. Yeah. You got any comedy dates? Anything you want to shout out?
All my comedy dates are at thejasonellis.com. That's my website. There's all new dates all the time. Talking about Canada and Australia next year. So I'm super excited. I think comedy's really picking up. Yeah, I'm really happy about that. And then the Jason Ellis Show is a podcast. Hawk versus Wolf is my podcast with Tony Hawk. And then I have a Patreon, patreon.com/Ellis is where I do 4 shows a week on my Patreon. I do a solo show by myself on there, talk about what it takes and all that kind of stuff. And what else I got? Father Grind is like a skateboard company. It just has a trick how to learn how to skateboard if you're older and not get hurt. So it's like not about kickflips. It's more about carving, wearing pads. It's for older guys because since I did the Hawk versus...
Well, you can like skate with your kids and like...
Yeah, because a lot of people now hit me and Tony up about skating and like, how do I skate with my kid? And I'm like, there's ways to skate in your 40s where
and
you
not
can...
die.
Yeah, because if you're like, man, TikTok, I'm doing ollie, don't do 360 flip. You missed that window. But you can get bigger boards, wider trucks, wear pads, go to a skate park and carve the bowls and have an awesome time and not get hurt.
Yeah.
It's only when you start going like, how do you do a nose blunt? Here's how you do a nose blunt. Don't. That's what you do. You don't do a nose blunt. You carve and then you go home.
You're old. You're washed. You should have started 40 years ago. You don't do a nose
You
blunt.
missed your nose blunt era. It's gone.
Yeah. Get Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yeah.
Do
That's
it
where you do it on the game.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Well, Jason Ellis, this was fucking awesome. You're welcome back anytime you want, mate.
Thanks,
and
man.
I had a ball. This was great.
Yeah. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you.
Done. Fuck yeah, mate.
That was awesome.
Unreal. That was great.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.